Hello again. Welcome to another Quarantine Cast with Brian, Cody, and Craig. I am Brian Noonan. He is Cody Gough. Craig Collins will be joining us shortly. Cody, big day. How are you? You look really nice. You're in a button-down collar shirt. Did you dress up for the inauguration?
No,
No, that's not why you're dressed up.
no. I'm just sharing on my Facebook page that we're live because that's what the people are there for. That's what the people do on the Facebook. No, I actually just showered because I hadn't in a couple days, and now I'm feeling better that I showered. And here we are. That's pretty much it. I did not watch a second of anything happening today. I was
You
working.
ruined it. You ruined it. I was going to place a wager because I know that I watched. Well, I didn't watch. I didn't watch any of the preamble. The other guy leaving. Didn't care, but I did get up and I watched from the morning through the afternoon. I stopped watching it about 2:45. I actually took a shower for tonight too. I feel good. I feel rested.
Look
But
at
I
us
was
all
I,
clean.
Greg watched it all, and I was going to put money on the fact that you didn't watch any of it until you read somewhere on social media that Bernie was being made into a meme, and
Yeah,
then
I
you
saw the meme.
were going to jump in.
I saw the meme. It's fine.
I know it's hilarious. He looked like every cranky old guy having to sit out in the cold or having to wait for somebody or anything. And he did say, "Listen, in Delaware, we don't care about high fashion." That basically, I'm paraphrasing a little, but it was like that. So I'm sure, or Vermont, in Vermont, we don't care. So I'm sure all the people in Vermont who like to dress nice are now very upset with their senator for saying that they don't care about fashion in Vermont.
I'm sure a lot of people have been dressing nice in the last 10 months. A lot
Yeah.
of events to go to, a lot of functions, socials.
I got to say, I loved his mittens. They looked like a friend of his knitted them for him. Maybe his wife knitted them for him.
Yeah, why
And
not? Let's go.
hey, man, they're warm. I'm going to wear them. I'm wearing a big parka, and I'm going to sit on this folding chair. And he brought his mail with him because he had other places to be. So Bernie was there, but he had, listen, he's got other things to take care of. He doesn't have time to mess around with this inauguration stuff.
He never has. He doesn't own a tuxedo. Why would he?
Well, because he's a senator.
Mm-mm.
That's why. That's why you
No.
listen. You and I own tuxedos. We're not senators.
But
You're,
we want
you
we
got a tuxedo.
we want to be senators. He wants to
I
work
have
and do
no.
a
I
job.
have no desire to be a senator, a congressperson, nothing.
What? I thought you were going to announce on tonight's show that you're a campaign. You launched a new campaign.
Sure. Well, yeah, but that's for a coroner, Cook County coroner. I just want to poke dead people with a stick, like in Stand By Me. I have no actual desire. So you really watched none of it today?
Why would I watch it?
Well, because it's one, to see if there was going to be any violence, which thankfully there was not. Two, because it is part of this democracy. I know. Listen, I'm glad this is over because talking to you about anything with the government, you always you just detest everything about the system of government.
I detest everything about our system and everyone that works in it.
Well, I think that's a mistake. I think detesting everyone that works in it is a mistake. There are some people. There's some people that want to do good. I think an inauguration day is a day where it's like the first day of school, where you put all your hopes into this is going to be the year, or this is going to be the 4 years, and if it's somebody that you voted for, you're even more excited. If it's somebody you didn't vote for, you listen anyway, and you go, all right, well, maybe. Let's give this person a chance. And so that's what today is about. It's about the symbolism of transferring power. It's about the endurance of this democracy, that it can keep changing leaders. It dates back to when George Washington left. Today it was a big deal. It's a big deal to have an inauguration and to change and to swap out leaders. And as a guy with a young son, I would think that you'd care a little more about the what's going on. I know you care about what's going on in the country. Sometimes you just almost seem like you're trolling the country.
No. There's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of things you can celebrate that the government does, like if they wrote stimulus checks or passed bills to protect people or save lives or do anything in terms of social
Were
justice.
you this upset 4 years ago?
I probably didn't care 4 years ago either. Look, it doesn't matter. Like, no one wants to hear my bad opinion on this. I don't get excited about anything. I don't care who's in power. I care what they do. And you know, all right, look, I know he signed the Paris thing. That's great. Okay. If something big gets passed, then I will want to celebrate, right? If he's like, we're going to do this thing so insurance companies can't deny Cody's Tresiba coverage, so he has to pay $600 a month for life-saving insulin because his insurance provider just decided one day randomly out of the blue that they're not going to cover it anymore. Or the time I had to go through my company to get my $27,000 delivery bill for my son handled through like 7 different channels. And that's the kind of stuff that Americans have to deal with every day. The day somebody signs something like that, I will have a Biden party. I'll buy a Biden.
Oh, I'm not. No. I think you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm not celebrating. I didn't have a Biden party. I wasn't celebrating that. I was watching because this is part of our history. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who is coming in and going. Our system of government is based on what happened today. That's part of what happened today. Now, am I hopeful that the next 4 years we'll see a lot of these changes that you're talking about? I sure as hell hope so, because they were promised us. They're promised us all the time, and because of the Congress, and the president can have all the great ideas he wants. If Congress isn't going to back them or pass the laws, they're not going to get done. Everybody's out for themselves. I'm hoping that this will be a little different. One, because at first, one party controls everything now. So, there's a good chance that will come. We were told 4 years ago we were going to have a new healthcare plan and they were going to unveil it. It was always 2 weeks. 2 weeks, 2 weeks. For 4 years, we waited 2 weeks and now it's gone. So I'm guessing the Republicans don't have a healthcare plan. So now we have to go back to the Democrats who passed Obamacare in the first place. There's problems with that. It's not perfect, but hopefully there will be reforms. So I think you misunderstand that you think that I thought today was like the beginning of rosy times. It's not. Today is the beginning of really hard work that is probably going to take a while to pay dividends. And before they can worry about reforming the healthcare system and all the other things, education and racism and all the huge problems that face this country, we got to get the vaccine rolled out with a comprehensive plan starting from the top.
Yeah, that's what I'll celebrate.
Yeah, me too.
I get the history thing. Look, if I want to celebrate American history, give me Independence Day where I get to blow some stuff up with fireworks. That's what I'm talking about. Like, that's fun.
Well, you missed. I wish you would watch it because there was a lot of cool stuff, non-political stuff to talk about.
No, I know there was a poetry slam. There was the Foo Fighters or whatever. There was
Foo Fighters or
something. Rihanna.
What?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. There was Lady Gaga, right? Hey,
Lady Gaga was great. Hey, she wore this giant dress.
Digest this. Mike Pence has now seen Lady Gaga live, and you probably haven't.
Right. But that's I also weird. Have not. I didn't have the desire to see Lady Gaga
that's
live.
Weird though, right? Like, that's weird. It's funny to think about. It's like,
yeah, and he was really close.
This like really hyper conservative like vice president, like he seems like kind of a square, not a lot of personality. He has seen Lady Gaga, and like you and I, we have a lot of personality. We haven't seen Lady Gaga. People watching, we have some very funny commenters. I don't think a lot of them have seen Lady Gaga. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. I already scared one person off. I told you.
Yeah, Kathy, hang on. No, hang on. It's we're not bringing anybody down. We are not. I
am. People hate my political opinion.
Yeah, that's a mistake. I should have waited to talk about the inauguration until Craig was here. But I thought you'd watch. I thought you'd watch so we could talk about Lady Gaga and Jennifer Lopez and Bernie. And I tee you up with Bernie, and you completely crap on it and just blow it off like you're not even going to talk about it. So what do you want to talk about? What do you have on your list to talk about, since today the entire country and the world was watching one event that you decided you wanted nothing to do with, and then you came and I bring up something that I know if anything will get you talking about it, it'll be Bernie, and you okay? Go ahead. It's on you.
Look, back in the day, you were like, Cody, don't be a pessimist. I was an optimist once, and now I'm a pessimist. Don't turn into me. I have surpassed you. My power is greater. I'm so pessimistic about
Well,
it.
you don't even see the possibility now for anything.
I see nothing good.
That's a shame.
Very, very.
All right. What do you want to talk about that's not politics then? I'll talk to Craig about you know, how the importance. Now, did your wife watch any of this?
No, she was working.
Okay. Well, I'm wondering because Debbie got very emotional. It was a big day for women, but I'm sure you don't. I'm sure that's not a thing for you either. But yeah.
I haven't seen a woman besides my wife in 10 months.
Okay. Well, there was a woman who was inaugurated as vice president of the country.
Who? Mike Pence?
Okay. Go ahead. You've got the floor. You take us somewhere because there's nowhere I can take us that you seem to want to go. So what do you want to talk about?
20th anniversary of podcast. It started today.
Okay, go ahead.
It got published. We're doing a podcast. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. That is a big deal.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. How is it any less of a big deal than what happened today?
All right. I'm not even going to engage with that kind of troll talk. If you can't see the difference, then I can't engage. Because I do feel like you're like a comment like that. I don't mind your political opinions. I respect your political opinions, but a comment like that is, well, the 20th anniversary of podcast is as important as what happened today. It's not.
Yeah, when you've lost like all faith in the system, it's like all of it just it's ruined, Brian. It's like, all right, did you see the Star Wars prequels?
The prequels?
Yeah.
No.
You didn't see that. See, all right. So there's a lot of people that saw the prequels. I know a lot of people that saw what was the second new one? The Revenge. It doesn't matter.
I saw the first 3 that came out. That was
right. And you were right to stop there, right? But like there's things that ruin other things, right? Okay, so like there's this whole Star Wars expanded universe. There's books. There's comics. It's rich. There's the Mandalorian, right? You watch the Mandalorian. There's all these good things that I could enjoy. But I saw so much bad Star Wars stuff that I'm just like, most of Star Wars is bad now. And I just kind of didn't want to like get into it. So seriously, I'm telling you, man, look, you've got to have something to talk about besides the inauguration. I mean, a lot happened in the last week, right?
No,
nothing.
No, nothing really. I mean, there was a lot of fun. I was going to talk about some funny stuff from the inauguration and just to bring up some of the good things that happened. I thought the president's speech was really good. I thought the thing that you dismissed as a poetry slam.
I heard that was great.
It was great. It was not a poetry slam. It was a 22-year-old youth poet laureate for the United States of America who wrote this after she watched the uprising, the attempted coup at the Capitol, and it was fantastic. Amanda Gorman is her name. She burst onto the scene. She stole the show. She looked great. Her poem was fantastic. So
I saw a lot of retweets.
I know, yeah, but so that was good.
I don't have television as the other thing, by the way. Like I literally, I mean, I probably could have streamed it somewhere, but I can't turn on a TV and be like, oh, it's on the TV channel, It
was on everywhere.
Right.
You couldn't have turned on any device and not seen it.
I had Twitter on. That was about it. All I saw was the poem and the Bernie meme. And like I said, like I wasn't trashing it when I said the poetry. I just said it was a poetry. Like I misused the language, right? It was a poetry thing. I'm sure. Like I said, I already said
it was a poem.
I said, okay.
It was a poem. It wasn't a poem. There was nobody was. There was a rap battle. There were bongos. It was a woman who got up and read a poem. That was it.
Look, there was like terminology. I don't know what I don't know, right? Like if it were a music thing, I would be very particular about my language. If it was like a sonata versus like a period piece or something like that, you know what I mean? Like there's nuance, right? So just calling it like a poem just feels like I'm doing it wrong. Like if I'm just like, oh, she read a poem, like maybe that's just what it was. I just figured there was maybe some other like specific term I should use. Like she recited a sonnet or something. You know what I mean? Like what type of poem? Like is that an epic poem. It didn't rhyme. Thank you.
It didn't rhyme, so I don't know. I like limericks, but I still enjoyed this.
This is all I'm getting at. Is like she delivered an epic poem. That to me
Let's bring in Craig. Hi, Craig.
Hi. Can we hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear. Emphasis on the loud.
Okay, I can turn that down. Let me fix that.
You got a new curtain.
Backdrop.
Yeah, I have a curtain. Is
Are you
that
in the
better?
shower?
Craig, please save the show. Please save the show, Craig.
How's the audio volume now? Let's just do an audio check on the air.
It's better than what we were doing before. Please.
Okay.
Well,
more or less.
No, you're fine.
All right.
You're fine.
How are you guys?
Oh, well, you're fine. Did you watch the inauguration today?
No, I missed it. No, I watched it. I watched
Cody?
all of it.
Okay.
Yeah. I watched every second of it. I watched it in Spanish and in English, so I doubled up.
Which one was better?
Wait, hold on. Let me check my Michelada. Spanish was better.
Oh, is that what you're drinking? Michelada. Very nice.
I almost wore a Michelada t-shirt tonight.
Yeah.
Soul with Clamato.
Yeah, with Clamato.
Wow. Nice.
I know.
All right. No,
by the way, my undisclosed location. You said I was in an undisclosed location, Noonan.
I didn't say you were in an undisclosed
location. It is Chicago, and then it's the rest is not disclosed.
Well, I didn't know if you were near the store where you went and got your beer last week, or hang out with your friend who sold you the Corona.
No, I'm now
Mas Fria,
right. I'm now in the bathroom of my Chicago undisclosed location.
I did. Listen, I wasn't going to give out your address.
Hey, no,
everybody's on edge tonight. This is
I'm doing great.
Well, you missed the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Okay. You should have been here.
How is my quality video-wise everything today? Is it much improved from last week?
I love
yes,
I just want to keep checking.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can see you. People are excited. Cindy's happy to see you. We were talking about, I figured, we'd talk a little about the inauguration because it was a big day. Cody didn't watch it and doesn't care about it, and equated what happened today with the anniversary of podcasting. So
okay, I have a huge problem with it. Can I start with my huge problem with the inauguration?
Sure.
All right. It's a big deal. I was very upset the entire time. I know that J-Lo is marrying A-Rod, but the better Yankee to take would have been Derek Jeter. So I think he should have been at the inauguration, and then maybe A-Rod could have popped up later.
A-Rod hangs around
party.
Every time she's performing, he's right at the corner of the stage. He's lurking.
I know.
Like somebody else is going to go out. Like one of the backup dancers is going to grab her, and just start, smooching away on her or something. He's very protective.
You're right. I can't think of the last time that we had a Yankee at an inauguration. And again, for it to be A-Rod really hurt my Yankeedom. I wish it had been Derek or Mo. There was a bunch of better choices.
Well, the good thing was he was not talked about or introduced. He was just there. I thought she did, and I have a very low tolerance for Jennifer Lopez when she's not in a bathing suit. I thought her performance today was very good. It was low key. Okay. She didn't dance around a lot. She stood there. She looked very nice. She sang very well. It was good.
Lady Gaga did great.
Come on, Lady Gaga destroyed it. Yeah. Here's my thing with Lady Gaga. That skirt she had on, that giant part of the dress. I kept waiting for a mini Joe Biden and a mini Kamala Harris to come out from under that skirt and start dancing around. I'm like, please, God, her little monsters have to be under that dress, and they will come flying out, and just the aviator glasses and the suit.
I know that George Stephanopoulos would have made an incredible joke had that happened. I know that Cody was all over the Twitter, but as far as George Stephanopoulos hitting on the Garth Brooks lack of social distancing, to me, that was one of the funniest moments of the inauguration.
It was hilarious. And him commenting on outfits. And then the ladies on the ladies going, boy, you've really changed, George. You're commenting on all the outfits. Here's my other big problem with this inauguration. I think the one that kept sticking out, the only people who get really nice chairs are the president, the first lady, the vice president, her husband, and Mike Pence. Everybody else is on the cheapest folding chairs that you would get from a rental company. Not even nice. Like if you weigh over 40, they're the kind of little chairs that if you lean back and you weigh more than 100 pounds, those chairs are giving way and your ass is on the dais. That's it. And I kept thinking, that's the other reason Bernie looked so mad. It wasn't just that he was cold. It was that he had to sit on this horrible chair.
Nancy Pelosi looked like she didn't want to be there. If you noticed halfway through and during the poem, the epic poem you were just talking about, Pelosi wasn't even making eye contact with the poet laureate, who I think won some kind of prize. That was a very disappointing moment for Pelosi to just be ready to leave.
I have a feeling they had all underestimated the weather, because at the very beginning, the guy, when the chairman came up and Amy Klobuchar had just finished talking, and he's like, well, I should have known when Senator Klobuchar joined the committee that there would be snow involved somehow. So they all looked like they were freezing.
Yes, they did.
Just free. So, and Nancy Pelosi's 106 years old. That brisk wind is going to snap her in half.
There was actually a hilarious Onion tweet. This came directly from Cody, saying that one of the, did you guys already talk about this?
We didn't talk about anything.
One of the Secret Service staff has already saved Joe Biden's life diving in front of some wind for him, because it might have killed him too.
The Onion, Cody, you pointed this out. So you did pay some attention, just not to the real inauguration.
Thank you. I would credit. I would like to receive that credit. You shared the Onion. I follow the Onion, so I would see occasionally, but I didn't see all of their comments till you said they're live tweeting it. Then I went to their page and read all of them, and I laughed out loud at about 6. They were amazing. The Onion for me, MVP today. Like, they were so funny.
They were really funny.
Also,
I think
Bernie wasn't angry that his chair was uncomfortable. I think he was angry that there were funds going to chairs. See, if it was him calling the shots, it'd all be everybody sitting on the floor. You know what I mean?
I got to be honest. Bernie probably shouldn't have been, because those did not look like expensive rental chairs. Those looked like a $1.50 a chair rental. That was perfect socialist chair buying or chair renting, because those did not. I spent more on my folding chairs at Costco than they did for the inauguration.
If we want to real quickly talk about the things said at the inauguration and not just the look of the thing, I do think it's interesting that Biden chose the tone he picked throughout it. And they were talking about that about George Bush and how he took such a tone similar to what Biden took today in trying to unite the country. I know it's just words right now, guys, but that sentiment had to at least hit home to a lot of people, right?
They were great words, and
they were words.
No, listen, they were hopeful words. Are they going to come true? Probably not. And the nice thing was, he actually copped to that. He goes, I know talking about hope right now seems, and I'm paraphrasing, but he was like, I know it seems really silly to talk about hope, but blah, blah, blah. And then, because we all know that Joe Biden is a very strong Catholic, he brought up God a lot. And I know he did it because that's really him. But for the right-wing evangelicals who pound about God all the time, that's got to strike a little chord for them too, to make them go, oh, okay, we got a guy who believes in God and talks about God, not afraid to talk about God. So I did like the tone. I like that he directly addressed the people who did not support him and basically said, hey, hear me out, listen to what I say, know my heart, and then if you don't agree with me, that's cool, but disagreement can't be violence. So it was he didn't, the big promises were, I'm going to work as hard as I can. I'm going to defend the Constitution. We're going to get, the other promise was, we are going to get through and take control of the virus.
Correct.
So he didn't make any really.
The uniting of the country, I think, is the sentiment that should be driven home to a lot of Americans who voted on both sides of the election. There's millions and millions of people that I know pre-insurrection did vote a certain way, that I think would like to hear, and even Republicans, and I know this was mentioned a few times in the ABC coverage, being happy that Biden's willing to reach out and potentially work with them on solutions as opposed to without them, because with the very slim majority in the Senate, it's going to be necessary.
Well, and he's got relationships with those guys.
He does.
He comes from them, so he can.
We'll see.
He knows how to wheel and deal. We'll see.
Yeah.
It is words, but what's he going to do? A puppet show? When you're giving a speech,
I just mean actions matter afterwards, and I'm waiting for action.
No, of course they do.
I would like a puppet show, though, Noonan, to go down your road. Of course, that would have been better.
I always enjoy a puppet show. I enjoy, any sort of weirdness.
I mean, all the jokes about him being senile, if he did a puppet show instead of a speech, that would have been a heck of a tongue-in-cheek shot at that.
He didn't seem very senile today.
He did not.
He seemed pretty
he
much.
Said all the words, most of them fine.
Yes. Well, it's cold. I don't want to talk in the cold. His nose was probably running. I wonder who got the job. I wonder who the guy was. The guy who ran up with the Clorox wipe between each speaker. I don't know who this guy was, but that was his gig. He stood there and he waited and he waited and he bided his time. And then somebody would walk away and boom, there he was. wipe down.
There we go. Let's do it again.
And it was clockwork. He didn't bump into anybody. He didn't knock anything over. Mm-hmm. Nobody had to stand there and wait awkwardly. Garth Brooks was able to storm down the aisle with his big hat on.
He was. I don't know what the Clorox guy thought of Garth Brooks.
There's a word for you, Cody.
I don't know what the Clorox guy thought of Garth Brooks at the end, though. Do you think that he got upset?
Who?
The Clorox guy at Garth and the way that he was hugging everybody.
Yes, Garth. No social distance.
No.
Gave big hugs to the former presidents, shaking hands, hugging people. Hasn't missed a sandwich in about 18 years. Garth was looking healthy. And it's weird. So, I equate you and Garth Brooks in this manner, Craig. It's unsettling when you see them without a hat.
I'm back. The beard is back. The hat is back. I don't know if the hat's back.
You look like you. When Garth Brooks takes off his big hat, he doesn't look like Garth Brooks.
No.
He looks like a guy who's selling propane.
Right.
You know? He just doesn't.
That is two shows in a row where you made a celebrity comparison with me. I don't know how I feel about that and if they're going to continue.
Well, listen, I'm not comparing you to D-list celebrities.
No.
I'm giving you,
Pardo
and Garth Brooks.
That's nice.
Those are fine celebrities.
So what happened, Cody, in your life today, if you didn't do any of this at all?
I just hung out, just doing things. My baby's sick, actually. He's got a...
Oh, no, what happened?
He's just sick. He's got a cold. Well, yeah.
You're not going to blame me, are you?
Oh, was it you? Did you bring a
pop? No, I'm healthy as a horse. Maybe it was you standing outside with him for an hour and a half.
That could have been it. Nah, he's got a cold. He's sick. It's like babies, they like to projectile spew up pretty much every minute. Well, this time when he did it this morning, I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't smell like what it normally does. It smells like what it does after a college frat party. And yeah, he didn't have a great day. So that was sad. But now I get to start the new chapter of my life where the parents get sick all the time because I guess that's a thing. To call his toddler a plague gnome because like every week he and his wife were just getting like violently ill because of the baby. So looking forward to that.
Oh yeah, it just keeps going around the house. Yeah. One of you will get it, then the other one, and you'll think, oh, it's finally gone, and then the third, then it'll rear its head again.
Yeah, I'm feeling all right though so far. And you didn't give me coronavirus or anything. We saw each other briefly to exchange some beers, which we haven't mentioned, but.
I have to say this was the first time I laid eyes on Cody's son, who I was starting to think may have been, I saw him in pictures, but that could have been a rental baby. I had never seen him at the house in person.
Yeah.
Holy cow, this kid's attractive. He's a good looking kid. And I don't mean that in a weird way. Other than Molly, he's probably the most attractive baby I've ever seen.
He's a cute kid.
Yeah.
I've also seen a really attractive baby recently. I don't know why we're doing this, but now we are.
Why? Where are you running to babies?
This is Betty's niece. She's 6 months old right now, and this is a very attractive little baby who is just smiley all the time. Is that a part of it? Does your child smile a lot, Cody?
Oh my God, yes, dude. When he smiles, it just melt.
He just stared at me like I was some sort of a weird anomaly.
I think that's part of it. I think if they're very smiley as a baby, then it makes them cuter. But this is an adorable little baby.
Yeah, nobody wants a dour baby.
No. It ruins the whole baby thing.
Yeah. Well, you're a cranky baby. Forget it.
No, none of that. No, we like when do they talk? I don't even remember. I don't know.
Does yours talk yet?
Yeah, hold on that. You don't need that. Because then once they start, they never stop. That's the problem. It's not like you could turn them off like a chatty Cathy doll.
That's very true. Well,
I don't know when they start talking. I'm trying to remember when Molly started talking. They'll start, he'll start saying stuff. What's he, 4 months old, 5 months old?
About 4 months old, yeah.
All right. Yeah, you got some time.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, it's off to the races. So
yeah.
I don't know. Between that,
I'm checking my watch diligently because I cannot be on the show for very long. I have a limit of time that I have to be on, and then I have to be gone.
What do you want to cover then?
I don't know. It's up to you guys. I think I have like 5 to 10 minutes left.
Oh my goodness. 5 to 10. Well, but you got anything? You want to bring something up so we can get your stuff in before you go?
How was your day, Craig?
Yeah, how was your day, Craig? How's your week?
My day's been very good. I've been trying as many things as I can that are Mexican after Betty returned from Mexico. So that's where the micheladas and all the things are coming in. I think we're trying to bring that that feeling of Mexico to her as much as we can. So that's been a lot of fun. And then, just watching inauguration all day was essentially mine. And then setting this up, which took way too much time.
Was her whole family into it? Because I got messages from my parents' friends in Turkey, and they were all glued to their TVs during the whole deal.
I do know that her mom watched the entire thing. I don't know how much her mom cares about our politics, but she does not like the president. The last president of the United States.
The ex-president.
Right. She's a bigger fan of the new guy without any reason to be a fan of him other than the fact that he's not the old guy. But that's all I know.
That's good enough for a lot of people. Doesn't matter.
Yes, that is accurate.
We're going to roll the dice, see what happens.
I don't know that she even actually really cares about like what happens. I know that she cares about her daughter, so obviously there's certain things she cares about, but it doesn't sound like there's any specific policies that Mrs. Arriaga is looking into. It's just, whatever, just wanted to watch.
How did Betty and her mom and the women in your life react to seeing Kamala Harris get inaugurated today?
Obviously there's a lot that's there as far as the value in breaking. I think I saw somebody tweet out, ladies of the world, be careful. There's a lot of broken glass today. So that's valuable as far as just seeing it happen. Although I'm not trying to it's the VP job. I assume someday they're going to want somebody to be a president of the United States. It's nice to see that first one break, but I imagine the like very sentimental moment's going to be the next step up. I'm just saying. well,
you know, this is the first one.
It's incremental.
I know it affected Debbie pretty hard. She was, it's because I think most women of a certain age and older, they never thought they'd see it because they haven't, you know?
Right.
And a couple nominations and didn't get close. And then, you know, Hillary didn't make it. And so it's like, oh, finally there's somebody.
And then when Nikki Haley becomes the president, I mean, that's going to be great.
Oh my goodness.
I knew I'd get a reaction from Noonan just saying it.
All right, here's the biggest question, fellas. What happens to QAnon? What are we going to do?
Oh,
everything fun. Do you feel bad for any of the QAnon folks who today were expecting to see 1 million people arrested and nooses, and now there's nothing? It's like, oh no. Did you see the one sad guy standing outside the Michigan Capitol all by himself? There's chains and National Guards and one dude with a flag.
It's in my text thread somewhere. I'm not going to be able to find it, but one of my friends stumbled on possibly the greatest conspiracy theory ever. And I don't know if this is real or somebody making fun of QAnon, but it's impossible to tell the difference anymore.
Right.
So their theory was that they were going to switch Trump and Biden's faces. So what you really watched today was Trump being inaugurated. And now
wait, it's face off?
Now, when Trump is tried for his crimes, that's really Biden paying for Hunter's crimes. And so when justice is served to Trump, it's really being served to Biden. So, like, you know, part of me is like, if anyone actually believes that might actually be good, because then like they'll kind of leave it well enough alone. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. Actions matter now. Biden better do very Trumpian things if he's actually Trump.
Does that mean that Trump wore a fat suit for the last 4 years or 8 years?
No, Brian. Have you seen the movie Face Off with John Travolta and Nick Cage? I think that's...
Yes, of course I have.
That's all this is. It's just a face-off situation.
Right, but the bodies aren't anything close.
Doesn't matter. You take the face off, you put it on the other guy, and then it works.
Okay.
That's what the movie taught me.
All right. Now, who's the Nicolas Cage guy? Trump, right?
I haven't seen it.
You've never seen Face Off?
Cody, quit the show. Don't do this tonight. Go watch Face Off, and then you'll have a lot more fun.
I don't know. He may be mad after the first part of this show anyway.
My mom texted me something about that. Noonan was being mean to Cody before you got here.
Well, go back. I know you like to go back and listen to it. You can go back and listen to it.
That's a lie.
No,
Look, I'll be honest with you. I've been up since like 1 this morning. I'm a little sleep deprived, and I'm like, what brings me the greatest amount of joy in the world right now is my son, who's perfect, my wife, who's amazing and lovely, and I love my house. And there's a lot of joy in my life. I'm a relatively happy person, but between the sub-zero temperatures and the lack of sun for like months until today
was gorgeous,
and the only thing that really anyone's talked about for the last 6 months is either politics or the coronavirus pandemic. It's just like, I think I hit a wall earlier today, and I came in with a bad mood, and so please give me a little bit of just a little bit of wiggle room. I'm sorry I came in so hot and so like negative. I
do want to be fair to Noonan, by the way, as far as my mother's texts go. She did say that Cody doesn't care about politics at all, kind of like Bill Clinton, who fell asleep, and she doesn't understand why you don't care about politics at all. So she's breaking bad at everybody in the show.
Bill Clinton fell asleep.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Anyway, no, I know I came in hot. I tried to defend it, but no,
it's fine.
It's winter. MLK Day apparently was the most depressing day of the year. It's like Blue Monday or something.
It was last Monday.
Yeah, someone told me that.
I got to tell you, we made the conscious choice to turn our Christmas tree and stuff into a Mardi Gras tree. And so normally we are we get a little down when we take down all the holiday decorations, but we've just continued on holiday decorations.
Nice.
So we are, it's fine. And I'm happy. I'm looking forward to not talking politics because before this, I never talked politics. Never. Couldn't. So I hope this is the most boring 4 years ever. And I'll pay attention if something big happens and they go, hey, guess what? Everybody's getting the vaccine next Wednesday. Start lining up. Okay, cool. I'm in. Or guess what? We've decided that everybody's getting healthcare. And we're cutting a chunk off everybody's this or that, or big things, or we're going to war with whoever. I'll pay attention to that.
As Wendy said, Valentine's Day is coming. I actually have birthday plans for my wife. We actually we're doing a virtual beer festival.
Wow,
which one?
I don't remember the name of it, but it's based in like Colorado or somewhere. But they send you all these. It's like a breakfast beer festival.
Oh my God.
They send you like 8 or 10 craft beers that are really hard to find. And they're all weird breakfast things. Like,
is this the Winter Whale one?
No, it's a different one. But they'll send you like a Fruit Loops IPA and like a chocolate, like Frosted Flakes, whatever, like stout, like weird breakfast thing. So we're going to wake up and day drink into Saturday. It'll be great.
This Saturday?
No, it's late February, but
okay.
It's a thing. It's a thing that's happening. It
sounds like Noonan's available this Saturday.
No, I've seen these before. I've seen a couple of these. That's why I was asking which one, because I saw one with some hard to get high alcohol beers, and I was like, well, that's why they called them the Winter Whale. And I was like, oh, that might be fun. But so yeah, Valentine's Day's coming. Both of you still have to treat your wives like your sweethearts and get them, Russell Stover's candies and all that other garbage. You don't?
No, you don't.
I'll tell you what, Craig, I'm nice to her all year long.
Oh, okay.
She's lucky to have me every day.
Right.
I will put on my Cupid outfit, walk around the house.
It's not much
stuff I didn't need to know. That's checked right off the list.
It's not much of an outfit, Craig. I'll tell you that much. I've seen
stuff I didn't need to know. Also checking that right off the list.
Some wings and a little bow and arrow.
Oh, but remember, there wasn't much of an HR department at the radio station. So,
that's right. I would celebrate.
Before I go, do either of you have the best non-politics, since you both don't want to talk about that anymore, non-political topic to throw out there?
No, I'll talk about politics. I'm looking forward to not having to. That's what
I agree.
That was my point.
To be fair, today's event wasn't inherently political in every way.
Right. That's why I wanted to talk about J-Lo and Lady Gaga and Bernie's mittens and the bad folding chairs. Nothing really, nothing policy driven.
J-Lo and Lady Gaga rising in the polls in terms of likely presidential candidates in 2032. I mean, J-Lo, they could be on the same ticket. Who knows? I
think J-Lo will replace AOC. Because they're both from isn't she from the Bronx too?
She's from the block. Yes, that would be correct.
I know she's from the block. I can't remember which block or which.
I believe it is the Bronx. I believe that Jenny is from the Bronx. Yeah,
I'm very up on my Jennifer Lopez trivia.
It's her block in the Bronx.
I couldn't remember which borough the block was in. I was clear on the fact that she was from the block.
The block is in every borough. She's from her block, which she's Jenny from the block. That's how the people locally would know her.
Right.
But now we're getting very, very sillily into New York. By the way, producer Dan also texted that he believes that Clinton fell asleep because there was the quote, especially all leaders who pledge to honor the Constitution and protect our nation. At that moment, Bill Clinton might have dozed off, apparently, according to producer Dan. Yeah.
I enjoy the fact that Hillary Clinton hasn't gotten a haircut during the pandemic. She had long flowing locks. She had a big head of hair today.
I enjoy the fact that Craig gets text messages from hundreds of listeners during our program. I don't think I share it on Facebook, and I've got like 1,800 friends, and I don't think a single one sees it. I got like a like, and then I just deleted it because it felt sad.
I think producer Dan was very proud when I had a radio show of the Little Craig Army, I think that he called it, and they text during the show. My mother is in that list though, Cody, so I don't know how proud I should be.
Your mother and Dan?
It counts.
Yeah, there's a couple more.
My parents stopped watching because I scared them off. That's where we're at. Who else has texted you, Craig? Let's just read your texts from that. I'm very
listener Brian texted a little while ago. I got to pull that text back up, I think.
Yeah, that was me telling you to get Cody off.
This is a different Brian. This is a Brian Scott. And by the way, I think I name dropped Brian Scott a few weeks ago. He said, Pirate Radio looking really great this week. So apparently I'm still not perfectly in sync with you guys.
Well, no, it's just it's not as high def as your old camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, what it looks.
Yeah, it looks.
It's the same camera, by the way. It's just a different internet connection. All right.
What is it? Is that the back of your chair, or is that some crazy logo on your curtain?
That's the back of the chair.
Oh, wow! It looks very Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
You're sitting upon the Iron Throne.
I demanded it, actually, that chair to do the show today. I wanted the most Game of Thrones chair we have.
I don't blame you. I saw Cody's little enclave the other day. His broadcast studio.
How does it look?
Very nice. It looks. I'll be honest. The angle, it looks very big here on screen. It is. He has done a lot with a small amount of space, and it's adjacent to his office, which has palatial views that you would pay, I would think, thousands of dollars extra for if you were trying to rent office space somewhere.
Okay, there you go. That sounds well. Nice. Cody has been way too serious about developing his office space, by the way, in his house. I don't think everyone takes it as seriously as you do. This is a compliment. It sounds like it's not, but it is. So that's amazing that you put that much time and work into it. No, it's incredible.
Like you're disparaging Cody's work ethic and his dedication to a fine workspace.
I think that Cody, unlike most people that have a home studio, assume it's going to be used for a long amount of time. Most of us who put them together assume we're only using it for a very short amount of time.
Well, he has a job.
Right. So, that's the part. Right. There you go.
You know, I will pass this on. This will hopefully make both of you feel good. Despite the rocky start today, which I will let go because I don't want anybody to be upset. I talked to Max Armstrong today.
Hey.
And he said how much he enjoys watching us on Wednesday nights.
Okay.
No.
Yes. Good. Yes. He said do you always start at 8? Because he's on Eastern time. And so he said, by the time we start, it's 9 o'clock. So he said he doesn't make it through, but he always, he will always pop in and look.
Well, luckily for Max, there is a podcast version of the show. The audio and video stay available if Facebook doesn't take them down on all the platforms they're broadcast onto.
Yes. I don't know what happened last week. I panicked with the boys. We had a confab because I went to pull the audio so I could post the podcast, and 20 weeks of these were gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's weird because I think it might have been all the weeks I've been a part of the show.
A good number of them, I would say.
I think maybe I wasn't on any of the ones that still existed, so I thought maybe Facebook was coming after me for a second.
Yeah, what had you done? What could you have done that you thought Facebook was coming after you?
It's probably all my private messages to Zuckerberg directly that are telling him he's a terrible person. That's probably what it is.
I heard it was Cody. I heard they were taking Cody down.
It was probably. I mean,
it was fatherhood. They said fatherhood and Cody. We can't have those two together. He has to either pretend that he doesn't have a child or it's over.
No, but like we checked the Facebook page a week ago because Brian went to pull that audio, and literally all three of us. I used to be a social media manager. Longtime listeners will know. So I've worked a lot with Facebook, and there were just 20 weeks. It was like last video 20 weeks ago, and we're all just like, didn't we just do this like yesterday? And they were just gone. No notifications, no warnings, no like message, like nothing. They just were not there. And so we're just like, what happened? Very weird.
Yeah, it was weird because I thought, I looked with no notifications that we had violated some term of service. I don't think any of us had threatened any violence on anyone unless you sent out subliminal messages.
I don't know.
I don't know. Craig from his undisclosed location in Chicago.
Yeah, I don't want to confirm or deny anything at this point. I just want to stay ambiguous.
Every week I want you to be one basement level lower. So now you're in like Sub Basement 3, Craig, and then event like we're gonna do it like what the Stanley Kubrick movie with the war zone and Gene Wilder.
Come
on.
No, I don't have the name of that in my brain anymore.
Gene Wilder,
I know what you're talking about.
I've
seen that one.
Dr. Strangelove?
Dr. Strangelove, thank you. Because they're in like a bunker in that, right? Like they're in some like government bunker war room thing.
I hope after that bunker, once he finishes that scene, the final one is him chained to a sink with Jigsaw.
No, see.
And the microphone is just attached to the faucet. It comes down on a boom arm, and he's got one hand to work his controls. The other hand is chained to the downspout.
Okay. I mean, if it brings us ratings, I will do it. I am not opposed to anything.
I'm not wishing you to be the victim of a serial killer.
Right.
But at the same time, if it brings us ratings, I'm not opposed to it.
I'm just saying if it were to happen, we have to roll with it. I don't wish it on anybody.
Right. I understand.
Speaking of serial killers, has anybody watched Night Stalker on Netflix, the 4-part documentary series about the Night Stalker killer?
No, I have not. And my excited reaction might have made you think that I had. Cody, have you seen that?
No, I've been watching.
I got so excited, though, for a totally different reason, Noonan, and I apologize for shifting gears almost immediately. What's the name of the Apple show you're watching?
Who? Me?
What's the guy's name?
Ted Lasso?
The coach? Yes,
Ted Lasso.
I've seen all of it now. I watched all of it in a night after you recommended it. It's fantastic.
Yes.
The show, the character, everything about it, the whole season and the way in which there are emotional and kind of rewarding moments as well as a lot of silly, ridiculous things. Man, is that a good TV show.
It is an uplifting, feel-good TV show.
At times.
That we need. Well, sure, there's, like you said, but overall, you don't leave. It's not like me watching the Night Stalker documentary. I feel a lot different.
You want Ted Lasso to have everything he wants in this life. You want that man to succeed. And that is definitely an uplifting component to it because he seems to not be deterred by any of the horrible things that may or may not happen to him.
And third season has started production, and they've already renewed it for a 4th season.
Amazing. It's amazing.
Do yourself a favor, Cody. Watch this show.
Yes.
Do you have Apple TV Plus?
No, I have Discovery Plus, and I have a better
Discovery
show.
Plus is fantastic.
You have the whole family of brands?
I respect that recommendation, and I'm sure it's a fantastic show. However, Discovery Plus has an uplifting show that I just can't get enough of.
Dog the Bounty Hunter?
Hey, guys. No, it's Mythbusters. Mythbusters is bar none one of the best TV shows ever made.
Oh, my God.
Have you?
Are they bringing the quarantine cast to us now, or is this just a weekly plug?
Oh God, no, dude, no.
Okay.
I actually name dropped Mythbusters in my podcast, and they like no one at Discovery even asked me to. Dude, no, really. Like we're like browsing Discovery Plus, and I'm like, here's some shows, and then I'm like, well, here's Mythbusters, and my wife is like, what is that show? And I was like, that's not how this works. You don't ask that question. Unironically, you will now know what Mythbusters is. And we watched like 10 minutes. And I was like, do you not agree that this is the best show ever? She's like, of course it is. It's like, it's literally like,
of course it is.
It's like if a bunch of 10-year-old boys knew science and got like things to blow up and then like taught you experiments. It's so good.
Wow.
It's so good. It's the best.
That's the elevator pitch right there.
No, but it's also really positive to your point about that Ted Lasso show. Like it's really upbeat. Like no one on Mythbusters is ever like serious or somber. It's goofy.
Well, and I think that's important because we started watching more game shows too, because Molly yelled at us that everything we watch is some sort of heavy drama or a murder documentary or a police show where somebody's been dismembered and abducted and then abducted and dismembered. Doesn't matter what order, all the horrible things. I
feel like it would matter what order, but go ahead, continue.
You never know.
There'd be one that'd be a lot harder to hide as a crime. If you did one before the other,
I think if you take somebody before you dismember them, they're easier to carry. If I chop you up, then I have to find something
you're
to
doing that at your house. I imagine wherever you abduct. This is a weird thing to argue, but I think it'd be better to kidnap first, dismember second. That's just my take. I know I'm alone in that.
Listen, no, you're not alone in that. I think you're right. However, we can't really think like someone who would abduct and dismember somebody.
Right.
We're trying to put this in logical.
You also don't know if dismember is planned. Is it planned or not? If it's you
can't count on finding tools to dismember somebody without planning it.
I don't know. I mean, like if you
started to dismember Cody's house, I don't know if he has the tools I would need to dismember him.
You don't think you could do a Home Depot trip in between? Like if you started the process and then you realize you're missing a couple of tools, doing a quick Home Depot run?
But I'm still planning it.
You've given me a
Well,
lot.
no, at that, well, you're planning it after you've already started, though. I don't know if that's the same thing.
Well,
Could the listeners tell us that? Is this the most dark question to ask the listeners to weigh in on?
Tom says it's a hot take on dismemberment.
Okay.
Tom likes a hot take on dismemberment.
Is it still premeditated if you're halfway through when you realize you don't have all the tools necessary to complete a dismembering?
Yeah, because maybe your hacksaw blade breaks. Well,
Right.
you've planned on doing it, but you don't have a replacement blade. So now you got to run out to the store.
I was just trying to connect all the pieces together. I thought they were doing this Mythbuster style where they just use the items around the house and then
Cody,
halfway through they're like, oh, wait.
How do the Mythbusters handle this?
They probably have tested this, and the episode was probably hilarious and zany and educational. What more could you ask for?
Is this the one where one of the guys is bald with like a long goatee?
Yes.
All right. Never seen
And somehow it would also be uplifting, that episode, by the way, where they took on dismembering.
It would somehow be uplifted. They do.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Well, because they do it in steps. They dismember like a watermelon first and then eventually get to like a dummy.
I'm going to turn up.
That's the other thing I like.
I'm going to turn up the drive on my microphone. What do you think of this, Craig? How do you like the drive?
It's better. You are a little low in the mix, but I might be blasting people out still.
I'm very low in the mix. No. It's like a thing that's a problem because I'm.
That's better.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, that does sound nicer.
Yeah. Now we're doing mic action, hot mic action on the quarantine cast. The mic.
I think with that SM7B, you also got to hug it pretty tight, though.
Do you? Do I need to get up on it? Do I need to get up inside it?
And I don't know why you do. I don't know why you do the slanted approach. I don't know why you do this.
Because I need to get a 3-inch extender. That's what she said for this microphone, so that I can turn it fully. Because right now it rubs up against the thing, and then I've got the rubbing, and then you can't rotate. You know what I'm saying?
All those things are what she said.
We've all been there.
Because it's directional, isn't it? Direct to you,
yes,
isn't it? It's not.
Be speaking directly into it, but the way my thing is set up, I can't really I can't turn it. Look at this.
No.
Do you see me trying to turn it?
I do.
Why? Are you weak?
No, there's things in the way. That's matter. Matter cannot exist in two places at once.
Could I make a stray observation for you?
Tell me.
Nope.
Tell me what it is.
You didn't have to put all the things that are currently holding it up into your studio that are there. You could have used maybe this, what I have.
Oh, I like
a little
in my hand, or I could just talk like this from now on, Craig. This is what we're gonna do.
Yeah, like Noonan.
Because I'm the only person that'll ever come in this room.
You don't need the
There's
microphone
only room
arm.
for one person in there.
There isn't room for one person in here.
Unless you're Mile High Clubbing it.
I think there's room for a baby.
Well, yeah, but he's always asleep during this.
Oh,
right.
Well, then for both Max Armstrong and your baby, maybe we should change the time of the quarantine cast.
Oh man, Max is the man. I really hope he didn't catch the first part of this show because I was not in a great place.
Let's just delete it. Let's just get rid of it. All 30 people that have been here for it. Yeah, so far, pretend it didn't exist.
Whack it out.
Will mess with you. You didn't even know. Have you ever slept before? After you do it, it's really great when you sleep.
Did you say, have you ever slept before?
I did. It was a valid question. I'm a good interviewer.
Okay. Who among us has not slept? I'll play along. Yeah, I've slept. Cody, why do you ask?
Thank you, Brian. Have you enjoyed your life more after sleeping than if you had, say, not slept?
Nope.
It depends. The other night I fell asleep during the first episode of The Night Stalker, and when I awoken, I was very put out. I didn't know where I was. I didn't realize that we were in the episode. Debbie was nice enough to let us go back and replay everything that I had slept through. So not always, to answer your question in a roundabout way. Sometimes I feel worse when I wake up.
Is it normal to feel a little bit like you're hallucinating right before you fall asleep? Is that normal?
Have you dismembered someone?
I have not, and I'm not on mushrooms, but it's been a more recent thing that I feel like a little bit like, I don't know if I'm in reality, and then I fall asleep.
Do you want me to get you some mushrooms? I've got a guy.
That sounds like it would make it worse, actually. If this is happening without the mushrooms and you gave me them, it sounds like I'm going to be in a much worse situation.
Sounds like the Cerveza Mas Fina talking.
I feel like I'm like nodding off a little, but for some reason my sleep right now is not taking full effect right away. It's giving me a few like teases first, and maybe that's where the semi-dream state is coming in. But curiosity needs to do a deep dive.
You're nodding off a little right now? You're saying we're boring you to sleep?
I've been asleep this entire time. This is
it shows. Don't kid yourself. It's obvious. Hey, Cody, this will get you excited. I'm using a cream that has marijuana in it, has THC and CBD in it.
Ooh, where?
I'm glad with the way that ended.
Where?
Huh?
Where can I?
The beginning of that sentence was rough, but the end of it was fine.
What? That I'm using a cream?
When you said you're going to be excited, I'm using a cream. I didn't know where we were going after that with you and Cody, but then it ended okay.
You got to hold on. You just got to wait. You just got to hang on. It's coming. There's a payoff. That's what she said. So yes, I got this. It was brought back from Colorado.
Ooh,
and it's the good stuff. Because actually, my mom has used it because she has arthritis, and I have horrible arthritis in my wrist. A little too much action over the years. I don't know what brought it on, but let's just say I have bad arthritis in my wrist.
Okay.
So Debbie had tried some CBD cream before, and it didn't work. It wasn't the, whatever. You order it online. This is the good stuff because this has THC in it too. And the label says contains marijuana, keep away from children. But my brother had gone out. My brother went to Colorado. And so my mom had said, listen, I can't get this. They won't ship it because even though it's legal there and it's legal here, they can't ship it. I don't know. I'm hoping
some legal places it goes through.
Yeah, like Nebraska. Who who cares about Nebraska? That's right. I almost said it. I almost swore.
Are you the last one to drop one? Have you done it before?
I don't know.
I think you did last week.
Did I?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Yeah, probably.
Okay. I didn't know if you still had.
After you left, Craig, I just went on a tear. I was out of my mind.
Good. It was about me.
No, it wasn't about you. It was I felt untethered. There was nothing basing me in reality anymore. You were supposed to have led the show, and you didn't. And I felt
and I didn't get to make any of the important points. Do you know? I want to say one thing about last week. I was so disappointed in my technical issues because that was the most serious show we've done ever in the Quarantine Cast. The actual conversations were valuable, and I couldn't be a part of them.
Yeah, Cody, don't feel. Let me just say this as a sidebar. Don't worry about what happened at the beginning because last week we were very serious too. If people don't want to hear it, we've been funny since. We've been talking about all kind of funny stuff since.
It's been a great show. I think Sally in the chat is talking about us talking about America. I think someone's behind in the chat, so I'm going to tell them to just skip forward.
No, Celebrate America. Celebrate America was the show that was on tonight. I actually recorded it. It started with Bruce Springsteen acoustic on the stairs of Lincoln Memorial, and then Tom Hanks, looking very, very cold, was hosting the whole thing. And Bon Jovi was on there, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar read some stuff. I've got it recorded. I saw the first 20 minutes.
I think there should be a rule that you cannot book both Bruce and Bon Jovi on the same show because it's two different parts of Jersey.
Yeah, and it's too close. But maybe they didn't want people to have to travel. Jersey to DC, not too far.
Not very far.
All right, they had Justin Timberlake and Ant something.
Man?
No, not Ant-Man.
That'd been great.
That would have been very cool. Justin Timberlake singing with Ant-Man. He's bringing Tiny back.
I mean, Rocket sings. Bradley Cooper is a singer, so maybe Ant-Man can do it.
And I'm guessing he's an either a hip hopper or an R&B-er. Or one of those styles of music.
Yeah.
Can I get a hip hopper again? Because you didn't sound old at all in this show until that moment. Like that's the oldest moment Noonan's had.
I know. I did it on purpose.
No, can I hear it again though?
What, a hip hopper?
A hip hopper?
He's
one of those hip hopping.
He was a hip hopper.
That's my favorite.
I was trying to see who he was because I don't know. But anyway, and who else was on there? A lot of people were on there. I did see Lady Gaga as I ran upstairs. Lady Gaga. And,
she was on the other show?
Oh, sure. She's on Foo Fighters were on there. You can't go wrong with Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters.
Why does everyone call them Foo Fighters and not Fool Fighters?
Maybe if they fought a fool. They probably have.
Don't they have any pity? I have pity for them.
For the fools?
Yeah.
Well, if you pity them, why would you fight them?
That's true. Well, aren't they the ones fighting them?
I feel like this is the moment when I leave the show, when I've lost all sense of what we're talking about whatsoever. Although I feel like maybe a Mr. T joining the Foo Fighters is where you become the Fool Fighters. I think that's where you guys were going for that joke. But
again, I have to take umbrage if you pity someone, you're not going to fight them.
I think this is Craig's cue to leave, put on a
Wow.
Mr. T Halloween mask, and then come back wearing a bunch of gold chains and be Mr. T for the rest of the quarantine cast.
Out of curiosity, am I allowed to shave if I wear a Mr. T mask to a show?
Are you allowed to shave what? The beard?
The beard, yeah. Can I shave it? Can I wear no hat with just the mask, or do I have to keep this look to make everybody feel comfortable?
You can shave as long as we don't have to see your face. I think that's fair. I think that I didn't shave today, and this is like 6 weeks of.
I
have to shave this time of year because it's so dry. My chin feels like I need to grate it off with a cheese grater.
Your shin?
My chin.
Oh, your chin. I shaved before I went to your house on Monday. I didn't shave today. It's Ant Clemens, and I was right. He's an R&B'er. He is an R&B performer. He was nominated for Best R&B Album for the upcoming Grammys.
Got it. And he's a hip hopper.
He's an R&B artist.
Okay. So he doesn't do any of the hip hop.
He doesn't hip or hop.
Oh, wow.
Unlike Lil Wayne, who got a pardon, and now he can hip and hop wherever he wants.
He did. Before I go, just because you brought up the pardon, are any of us curious if there's secret pardons?
Of course there are secret pardons.
You think there are?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Are they in a secret vault?
They were making money hand over fist with these pardons.
But the idea right now is that if there is a pardon, one for the man himself, it is in a secret vault of some kind, only to be unveiled from the vault and brought to light if he is actually tried. I hope that we get an actual full-on view of that happening. If it does exist, I want to go to the vault. I want maybe Harrison Ford to be a part of it. I think it would be a really fun time.
I want it to be like Geraldo when he went into Al Capone's vault. I want them to think there is a pardon in there, and it's a huge primetime event, and there's dynamite and someone in a Bush jacket, and they go in, and there's nothing. There's just an empty KFC box.
This is all fine. A McDonald's.
Okay, and McDonald's. Sure, whatever fast food. You throw it in there. I don't,
There's not going to be a McDonald's breakfast because they don't serve that after 10:30 a.m.
You've been very mad about that.
Yeah,
recently.
what? This is something you didn't know?
Have I mentioned that before on this cast?
No, not on the cast.
Okay.
But you've texted both of us in all caps.
Dude, I have arrived at the McDonald's drive-thru at 10:31, 10:33, 10:39. I just can't do it. I can't get there before 10:30. Why can't they serve breakfast till 11 like normal people?
You know what's interesting about the 10:35 arrival at the McDonald's is it's there. The breakfast, they didn't make the exact right amount and serve it to the exact right amount of people. There's some still there. And if they don't serve it to you at 10:35, they're kind of jerks. Because I've convinced them to serve me the breakfast that's still behind the counter a little after 10:30 before. So I think you just have to argue better because it's there. You know it's there.
The scene in Falling Down is the best.
Yes.
Where he shows up, where Michael Douglas shows up and just drops the bag of guns on the counter. And he's like, I want this sandwich. And he looks at the clock. He's like, sorry, sir, we don't serve breakfast. And it's 5 past. And he's like, no. You don't understand. And he just busts out a gun. It's great. That's my favorite. That's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Really?
Never seen it.
Down. You never. Craig, stop doing this cast right now. You watch Falling Down. I'll watch Face Off. Brian can watch Mythbusters. We'll all reconvene next week. This is
all right.
Done.
Sounds fair.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, he did. He just left.
Good exit.
Wow. Without so much as a ta-ta, he Irish goodbye'd us.
Well, he had to, if I were him, my short-term memory is really bad, right? So I would have been like, okay, he just said the movie I need to watch. I got to go right now. I already forgot what I said. I don't even know what I told him or you to watch or me. So.
Oh. Yeah, he told him to watch Falling Down, me to watch, I was going to say Facebusters, but it was Mythbusters.
There you go.
All right, I'll try to watch Mythbusters. We're looking for something, we've been trying to find new shows. But let's get back to your thing. Didn't they start serving breakfast all day? Isn't that their thing?
They stopped because of the coronavirus. And then they said, we found that the efficiency in their restaurants increased by 700% or something after they stopped serving all day breakfast.
Oh,
logistically, it was very challenging. So now they're like, well, we're just not going to bring it back. And that's, okay, I can deal with that. But 10:30 seems like a strict cutoff. There's people that wake up late. Can't you call up a lunch menu and serve it till there are people eating cheeseburgers at 10:30, but I am never going to eat a cheeseburger at 10:30. it just seems early to me. Like that's still morning time. It's like
Right.
in terms of cuisine, right? Like I'm still going to get my hot coffee if it's before 11. I'm not going to switch to my chilled coffees, which is an afternoon thing for me. I might have a breakfast sandwich at 11, but I'm not going to be grilling. I'm not going to have a McRib at 10:30 in the morning. Like I just finished my coffee. How does that work? That's all I'm saying. It's fine.
Well, I know Burger King is pushing, they do hamburgers all morning. They start doing hamburgers when they open, along with their breakfast stuff. Back in the day, I used to not like the breakfast sandwiches. So when you could get hamburgers at 7 when I was working construction, I would get hamburgers at 7 in the morning.
Wow.
You know?
All right. Like I said, I knew there's people that do it, night shift and.
But I agree. I think 11 o'clock, that half hour between 10:30 and 11, when breakfast is kind of ending, people are going to be coming in after 11 looking for lunch, but there's got to be some wiggle room in that half hour.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're right. Maybe they say, listen, we're not going to make, pancakes stop at 10:30. You can still get a sausage McMuffin, because we know those eggs are, it's easy to do the eggs and stuff. You can still get that. You can get one of those bagel sandwiches. They used to, I don't know if they do it anymore. They used to make this steak and egg bagel in the morning, or a steak bagel. It was really good.
Yeah.
I also used to they made these little breakfast burritos back in the day.
They make those still?
Do they? Those were every once in a while coming home from the overnight show. If we had stayed late talking or something, or if I'd hit traffic, then I'd drive through and get a breakfast burrito on the way home.
Oh yeah, there you go. You're making me think of with all the food and drink talk. The other reason I came in hot tonight is because for some reason I fully expected first 5 minutes we'd just be talking about beer. We didn't talk about the beers.
Yeah, we never mentioned what we were drinking.
Are we allowed to do that? Are we going to do that? Because you said we're not going to talk to the people till like.
No, we're not. No, but we can mention this and we'll see. So, a lot of people are doing dry January. They do sober October. Last year I did dry January. I also did sober October last year. This year I'm not. But, we talk about beer a lot. And so we were contacted by one of our PR friends at Solstice PR, and she said, hey, I'm doing this. I'm working with a new client, and they've got this non-alcoholic beer, Big Drop Brewing, and it comes from the UK, but now they're brewing 2 of the 3 flight beers here in Chicago, and they're going to start brewing the other one here. And so, hey, you want to try it because people are talking about, not drinking. So she brought some over and dropped it off, and I took some to Cody. You are doing the Pine Trail Pale Ale.
Pine Trail Pale, yeah.
That is it's described this way: a delight for the senses. It delivers on all levels. Rosy floral aromas are immediate as you pour. Did you get rosy floral aromas too, Cody?
I did, definitely floral for sure.
How about a light and limey citrus bite on the palate?
That's what it was. I couldn't put my finger on the fruit, but yeah, lime sounds about right.
All right, and an obvious bitterness to finish.
Bitter to finish. That's spot on. That's actually a very good, accurate description.
Right.
Non-alcoholic contains less than 0.5% alcohol. 78 calories, 16 grams of carbs. It's pretty good. Can I say, as a diabetic, I love that it actually tells you how many carbs are in it.
Yeah.
Like beer, it's like, forget about it. Like after 10, however many years of experience being a diabetic, I now have a general sense of how much insulin to take when I drink certain beers. But like most alcoholic beverages don't have any nutrition facts at all. So right. I love that this non-alcoholic beer actually has, it doesn't have them all, but it's got calories, carbs, fat, and protein. And that's all I need. That's all anyone needs. Love it. Love it.
And it's being brewed locally by Great Central Brewing Company. It's won awards against alcoholic beers. I am trying the Galactic Extra Dark. Nice. Which is a milk stout style. It's they say it's toffee covered in chocolate, a rich, unctuous, and absolutely decadent treat of a beer. It's pretty good. I don't know. I will say, if I was looking for a non-alcoholic beer, it's really good. It's something different. It does give you the feel of heavy or dark. Oh, you got a different one too. Did you bring up a couple?
This is an alcoholic beer.
That's why I have I have one on a standby for we should have started with the alcoholic ones.
Or when I drive you to drink, yeah.
Listen. Let's clear the air on this. I wasn't mad at you. I was just like, okay, if you want to, what do you want to talk about then? That's all. It was
No, but you would probably understandably exacerbate it if I like had a thing and an idea and I'm like, let's do this. And then it's like an improv scene.
Right.
Like I basically just
That's what I felt like. Everything I threw out, you were, instead of yes anding, you were just no.
Yeah, I was like, no, this sucks. And that sucks. I was a sucky person. I was very bad. And I know people literally said, they were like, I'm leaving. I hate this. And I knew I was doing it, but like I said, man, like, you know how it is. Like,
I know exactly how it is. I know exactly how it is. Next time, tell me before we go on, so I'll know that's, you just go, dude, I haven't slept.
But I didn't know that I was that far gone. Like that's the thing. I don't know. It's like, we should all be kind to each other in this pandemic, because sometimes we just
everybody's got stuff going on.
But when you like, broadcasters are not exempt from this, right? So like, correct. But you're really good at like hiding, because I know you've
hiding everything.
Dude, you've had some horrible days, and you'll just get on, and no one would ever guess it. But like, I'm just can't. I wear my coattails on my pants. Hold on, I wear my tuxedo on my rib. Wait, no, hold on. I wear my emotions.
You cut off your nose to spite your heart on your sleeve?
No, I put my butthole. Wait, oh no, heart on your sleeve. I wear my heart on my sleeve.
Wear your heart on your sleeve.
Yeah, that's where I was going with that.
All right.
Yeah.
I thought you were cutting off your nose to spite your face.
No, I thought I was good too. And then, I don't know what it was. I got triggered. I was a snowflake.
Dude, that's all right.
Snowflake is snowing outside. I'm a snowflake inside.
I thought of you today, this morning. Well, we can finish up with this. So, these are good. We'll, if you're looking for something to keep you going through dry January, this January, there was a lot going on in the first 20 days. I couldn't, I decided every once in a while I needed a cocktail, but Big Drop Brewing Company is, they've got we talked about the Pine Trail Pale, the Galactic Extra Dark, and they also have a Citra IPA. So, 3, and you can look for them around town starting this week. So
yeah,
there you go.
What alcoholic beverage are you drinking?
I have to text Debbie. She's going to bring me up one. I'm going to do that. The Beguiled, the Imperial Pajama can that you gave me.
Ooh, the one that was aged in Old Forester barrels.
I believe so. But there's a part of me that is thinking, oh, that's, it's 9:20. That's gonna put me under.
So,
what do I have to be? What do I have to do?
Dude, this is gonna put me under. I'm actually having a barrel aged collection barley wine ale from Crystal Lake Brewing.
I have not been to Crystal Lake Brewing. Here's how I know Crystal Lake Brewing. Well, I talked to the owner once on the air when I was in for Dean Richards' show, and then our old boss at WGN went to a different station, and he worked with Crystal Lake Brewing to develop a beer based on his radio station.
Nice. Yeah. Well, I gotta say, I've got I'm really into the Revolution Deepwood series.
Yes.
They're really thick beers, and they have a beer, Mineshaft Gap, which is a barley wine ale. I got a 4-pack of that when they came out last month or whatever. Really good beer. All of Revolution. I'm a huge fan. This barley wine ale from Crystal Lake Brewing, easily on par with the Mineshaft Gap. And what I like about this one is the Mineshaft Gap and all the Deepwood series from Revolution are around 14 to 15%. This is 10.5%. So
that's more manageable.
Right. It's still a strong beer, but I can drink it and I'm not going to be slurring my words and falling. Well, I'll probably still be slurring my words and falling over by the end of this, but I won't be falling over and injuring myself as regularly.
That's good.
So, big fan. No, but really, it's a tasty barley wine ale. I've had it before, and it really holds up.
Crystal Lake Brewing. We'll have to check them out. Speaking of Revolution, our good friend John Carruthers from Revolution had a birthday yesterday.
Oh, happy birthday, John.
Yeah, happy birthday to John. He was, he's posting pictures of, he's always making pizzas. He's a guy with a lot of interests, and most of them revolve around beer and the kitchen. So two great tastes that taste great together, but he's always doing something. Oh, Debbie is going to try to hold on. She doesn't want to be on camera. So hang on. Hold on.
It's fine.
Hold
on.
Fine.
I'll just rave more
very secretive.
Crystal Lake Brewing. I got this at Beer Miscuous, which Craig and Brian have made fun of me a lot for constantly promoting on the show.
She won't even speak.
Okay. Craft beer. There's one in Lincoln Park.
Hey, did you notice I changed up the background a little bit?
I did. They're on the left there. You don't have Christmas decorations up anymore.
Don't have the Christmas decorations up, and I decided since we were doing this more, and I was doing
thing.
Huh?
It's your WGN sign, the blue sign.
Yep, that's my WGN. So all of the stuff that was on that empty shelf on the top is usually Crew of Morpheus stuff, but that's all downstairs now. But all of that was on a bookshelf over to my right, and that one was just pictures and stuff. And I thought, well, since I'm doing this, maybe I'll put some different things behind me because I like to look when I see people interviewed on TV, I like to look in their background and see what they have. Mm-hmm. So I thought this was a little more interesting. And so, that's the sign from the Showcase studio. There's a little mock-up of a WGN Blackhawks billboard there. Mike Flags from TMJ and GN and Elvis. And a picture on the bottom shelf in that red frame is when you used to go to Bozo's Circus, they gave you a picture of, it's got Bozo, Cookie, the band leader, and Ringmaster Ned. And it's signed. It's like mass. They sign them. They're signed, and they give them to you when you left. So that was from the very first time I went to Bozo's Circus when I was real little. Because back in the day, when people found out they were expecting, they signed up for Bozo tickets because it usually took about 7 years to get Bozo tickets. Mm. So my mom and her best friend got pregnant about the same time, and they both signed up for Bozo tickets and got on the list. And so I got to go to Bozo, and she saved everything. And the picture she found the picture in a drawer, and then she put it in a frame and gave it to me last Christmas or the Christmas before. Oops.
Nice.
That just exploded. I have beer on my keyboard. Huh?
I didn't shake it up. It wasn't me.
It was Debbie. Debbie did it.
Oh, man.
I know. What am I going to do with her?
I don't know. We got our chimney sweep done today.
How was Dick Van Dyke?
Dick Van Dyke was fantastic. He flew up and then charged us 10 times more than we were planning on spending.
Is that right?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah, well, so we got our fireplace is beautiful.
Yes, it's very nice.
Yeah, thank you. It's masonry. The thing with masonry is that it is susceptible to the elements, and Chicago is known for elements. So little cracks happen here and there. The caps up top on the chimney were kind of off. So, we thought it'd be a couple $100, and he comes down and he's like, well, if you really want to get it, on the up and up in good shape, it's going to cost you a lot more than that. And he was like, but we'll give you a 15% discount if you just do it right now. And
okay.
Like, well, that'll save us more than $200. So I guess and you're here and whatever.
Do you have the stuff to do it?
I thought my savings account funds would go towards hiring a painter to paint a couple rooms in our house. Like we got some ceilings that are kind of messed up that anyway, well now it went to the fireplace. So we'll just do that painting later.
Well, supposedly you're going to get another stimulus check.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, the $600 one?
No, an additional $1,400.
That'd be great.
So, that'll be good.
So
he found cracks in it? Did he have one of those big brushes like Dick Van Dyke? What did he?
So I took chimney sweep, it literally sweep like a broom.
Yeah.
It turns out vacuum cleaners have been invented since that time. And are more widely in use. So I'm up in my office and I just hear this like, so much more modernized, but they did a great job. I would name drop the company, but I don't remember. My wife mostly dealt with them.
Yeah, I was telling you, you said you were going to have them come over. We have a fireplace too that supposedly works. We haven't had a fire. And I always think, because we had a fireplace at our other house, and I love the look of the fireplace. I like having a mantle. But it's always like, oh, I don't know. We're going to make a fire. It turns into a thing. So we almost never used it.
Mm.
And this one, I'm like, well, now I don't know I probably have to get it cleaned, because somebody said, well, you could just get one of those creosote cleaning logs. And, but I don't want to risk that there's something living in there, or that there's some blockage. And then all of a sudden I start a fire and we're all dead.
I mean, he said start with a very small fire. So you could light one log. And I was like, well, what if smoke starts billowing in the house? And he was like, well, it shouldn't, but if it does, just open a window and then, you can douse it. Sally in the chat said ours was going to be 12 grand with complete tear out and rebuild. We went to gas. So that's a thing. He said that. Wow. He was like, with some of these older homes and fireplaces, clearly we had to pay a lot to get it up. And he's like, after this, upkeep's fine. We'll come out once a year, couple $100, we sweep it, we seal any little whatever.
Right.
But if you go too long, he's like, I've had to give that news before, where you've got new first-time homeowners, they get in a house, they got to be with a fireplace, and then it's like, well, there's some serious structural issue and it's going to cost you like 12, 15 grand, and then you're stuck. That's really too bad. I'm sorry to hear that.
That sucks.
You had the option to go to gas though. That's good. That's really
good. We had a gas. I guess we could have, the last house, it had gas. So I would use the gas to light the logs and then just use regular logs. Our house in California, we had a fireplace. I don't think we could use it because they were like, yeah, it was one of those situations where, well, we don't, it's probably not, there's probably some issues you might, and I was like, forget it.
Wait, you don't need fire in California. It's like 100 degrees there. Well, it's 70 and sunny all the time, right?
It was nice most of the time. Yeah. It was, yeah. I don't know why we had a fireplace. I didn't put the fireplace in. Our apartment, when we first moved out there, our apartment had a little gas fireplace that we never used. And then we bought the house and that had a fireplace. And again, we didn't use it, but it looked nice. Had a nice mantle and stuff. But I love the idea of it, and I love having a fire. I like having a fire more outside, I think. Like the fire pit, I think I'm more comfortable because I don't have to keep getting up out of the chair. I'm sitting right by the fire. I'm not going to go sit right in front of the fireplace like a lunatic and keep poking at it with my stick. And, then I got to buy new fireplace tools. It's crazy.
Dude, we built, in our apartment, we built fires 5 nights a week in the winter.
Really?
It was nuts. Yeah. Oh my God. My wife loves building fires. Absolutely loves it. Because we lived across from 7-Eleven. So we'd go,
right.
They had bundled the logs.
Oh yeah.
They also had Duraflames. So if we knew we'd be in for the night, we'd toss one on there, put a couple logs on top of it once in a while. But those things would go for like 4 or 6 hours.
Duraflame goes that long?
It goes 4 hours. I think it's 4 hours, but yeah, they go long.
Is it pretty good sized flame, or is it just like a little, like you turn on the burner on the stove?
It's mostly just the log on, but if you throw one log on it most of the time, it'll stay pretty nice for those 4 hours.
Wow. See, I'm learning something new every day. I've seen those Duraflame logs, but never used them. I used something like I had for a while, these things that were like a Duraflame log, but they were just to start the fire. They were about this big, like a triple protein bar size.
Yeah, we had those too.
And so I would use those to start. They never really, I might have let them sit too long before I used them. They might have expired. They never really worked that great.
We can show you how to build a fire next time we hang out once we're all
I build an excellent fire.
Yeah.
I'm good with kindling, a little newspaper. I know how to pilot so there's airflow. I can get a fire going like that.
Well, that's because you throw bodies on there too.
No, I know. Those go in lye. Those go in tubs of lye.
Mm.
You can't burn a body because the bone and stuff is still going to be in the ash. Got to dissolve it up. It's things I learned over time.
Just from nowhere in particular.
Little tip. There's a life hack for you. Death hack. Either way, it's a hack. After you hack,
definitely a hack.
I embarrassed a guy with my fire making skills when we lived in Frankfurt. We were having a block party, and this guy fancied himself like, he could do, oh man, he just handy Dan. He could do everything. Thought he was the man. So he's out there, and everybody had brought their fire pits out, because we were all now going to sit in the street and drink. And he could not get a fire going to save his life. And I walked out with mine, and within 3 minutes, I had this roaring inferno in my fire pit.
Oh,
and we were just like, oh, look at Brian. Brian can really make a fire. Yeah. Like, yeah, I can. I know how to do it.
Yeah.
You got to start it small and then add. Then I go. I want a big one. I want a pyre.
Yeah.
That's what I do in the yard.
Yeah, I mean, you got to buy more logs that way, but that's fine. We got so much kindling out back because we've got a fire pit, but we haven't used that. It's been too cold.
We still have, a few years ago, this was back when we were living in France. This wood has gone with us 2 moves. My daughter's friend's brother is a Boy Scout, and the Boy Scouts were selling firewood. So Molly's best friend's brother was a Boy Scout. They were selling firewood, and it wasn't logs. It was like if somebody took 1x5s or 3x whatever, lumber basically, but it was all cut into size. The biggest one's about this big, and different size, and you buy them in these mesh onion bags, and we bought a ton because we were like, well, we're going to make a lot of fires. No, we didn't make a lot of fires, but I was like, I'm not throwing out the wood. So I've moved these bags of wood to 2 different houses because it burns great.
Mm-hmm.
So now that's what we've been using. That's what we use in the fire pit. So I've got wood out in the shed that's moved all over the Chicago area. It keeps aging. It just keeps getting drier and better, and poof.
Yeah, careful. Keep it somewhere very dry, or not.
I keep it right out by the oily rags and the gas cans.
Sure, yeah, why not? No, I've got to. Was I supposed to bring my propane tank in? What's the deal with that?
No, I leave. My grill is covered. Your grill is covered. Right? Yeah, I've never brought it in.
You just leave the propane tank out there? It can freeze and thaw and all that stuff?
Well, my propane, I think yours isn't it kind of inside the grill? Or is yours just hanging on the side?
It hangs on the side.
I think I've always left them out. That's probably not right. I'm probably not doing it right. That's what I've always done. Now my propane tank is inside the base of the grill. Mm-hmm. There's 2 doors in the front.
But that would
make a Weber, so it's underneath.
But it wouldn't make a huge temperature difference, right? Like mine's not going to get wet.
No.
So it's just like, all right, put in the chat if you think my propane tank is going to explode when I turn on my grill in the spring.
Oh, it's not going to explode.
I just want to avoid that.
It's not going to explode.
Yeah, I don't want that.
I've had gas grills for years. Never had an explosion.
All right, perfect.
Never.
Yeah,
never. Now you're just worrying for worry's sake.
No, right. All right. So when we rented a RV and drove out to when we flew out to Washington a few years back, rented an RV, drove to the Gorge to see Guns N' Roses. RVs have like electric power, obviously, but they got like a gas grill in there and all this other stuff. And like, I was paranoid the whole time. I was like, I'm going to turn on a gas grill and it's just going to blow up the whole RV. Like, I don't know how I don't understand how gas lines work. Like, I don't know how you can just like turn a thing and then there's fire, like without exploding everything. It's always been a mystery to me. Like it's a field of science. Like, how does it, what is in a propane tank? It's like a gas that's
propane is liquid.
I didn't know that.
It's liquid propane. And so it comes out the hose, and that's why you open the lid so it doesn't build up.
Right.
And you press the igniter, and that little spark is enough to catch the flame. And there's not so much coming out. Now, if you had kept the lid closed and you're building up all that propane and all that pressure, that would cause an explosion. But the little bit that's coming out your burners, when you turn it just to the ignite section, it's as long as there's airflow, just the spark is enough. That's why the burner's just light. And it's the same as on a stove.
Yeah, no, look, I grilled like every week this summer, right? I know how to use it and not
Oh, I know
explode.
you. No, I know you know that.
I just don't know why it doesn't explode. And I look at it and I'm just like, there's a magical substance that somehow doesn't explode, but it produces fire. But it could explode if you did the wrong thing to it. But I'm
Right,
not.
it could explode if you put, I don't know, if you threw that propane tank into a huge fire, it would explode.
Right,
If you kept the lid closed to create a bomb, basically, it would explode. But because when the grill lid is open, there's so much airflow, that's why it doesn't explode.
Yeah.
You know,
it's magic.
Sure, it's magic.
It is time to call the Mythbusters, Tom. You are right. I got to call. You got to see what their deal is.
Yeah, see if listen, you have connections to the Discovery family of brands. You can't get the Mythbusters to your house?
Man, that'd be awesome. Dude, if I could interview one of the Mythbusters, oh, that'd be so cool. I should look into that.
Cindy and Sally both saying it's going to be okay.
Thank you.
They leave theirs on all the time.
All right.
Because
I'm not super worried. I just don't know what I don't know, First time homeowner, first time grill owner.
Yeah, no, it'll be fine. You don't have to worry about it.
Leaving.
It's not like when I bought my first house, when I bought the house here, it had not this one, the one in Frankfurt had a sprinkler system in it. I didn't put the sprinkler system in, but it was there. And the first winter I was like, I probably have to do something, right? I probably have to, can't have water in the frozen pipes under the grass. I had to learn to take off this valve and drain the whole system so that there was no water left in the sprinkler system before winter. And then in the spring, I had to reverse the process. So I would put on this valve and get water flow back. It was crazy.
See,
so that's the fun of buying a house.
One substance I'm not afraid of: water.
Water?
I know that's not going to kill me. It's not.
Wait till your basement fills up. Then you'll hate water.
Dude, no. Like it was like rainstorm like crazy. Like 2 of the first couple weeks we were here, 2 nights, like 8 inches of rain kind of situation. Not a bone dry basement, bone dry. What? We got like an 80-year-old house. Did a great job keeping it up to date, except for the chimney that cost me $2,000. But whatever.
And they didn't. That wasn't part of the inspection when you bought it.
No, it's got to be a separate inspection. Yeah, is what the guy said. So if you're a potential home buyer and you're really excited about a fireplace, get that separate inspector to check out the fireplace and the chimney and stuff. Pro tip. Hopefully that can help.
It is a good tip.
Yeah,
it's a good tip.
I didn't know. We just assumed, and I figured, like, oh well, yeah, it probably hasn't been cleaned in a while. We'll call a guy. They'll do a thing. Like maybe it'll cost a little bit of money. I underestimated, but you better bet. You can bet. You can put money on this. We're building a fire tomorrow.
Nice. Yeah, you spent that money. There better be a fire in there nonstop.
There's gonna be a lot of fires.
I would remove your furnace and just have fires.
It's perfect timing because it's gonna be like 1 degree all week next week.
This is yeah.
We have sun. At least we got the sun.
Today was nice. It was sunny. It confused one of the dogs. She thought it's so sunny. She must want to be outside all the time. She'd go outside and we're like, it's cold. Don't you remember? It's cold. Well, dogs don't, they have no concept. So she'd be out and we'd stay there by the door and watch her. Cause I was like, it's too cold. She'd be out like 3 minutes and she'd come hopping back like, oh man, my paws are freezing. Like, yeah, idiot, come on in. 10 minutes later, she's at the door. Oh my God, you're stupid. Go outside and freeze. So we had to keep letting her out and bringing her in all day because she sees the sun and she wants to be out in it. And so did I, but then I shoveled this morning and it was freezing. And I was like, oh no. And then I watched all the inauguration stuff and I was going to go to the store, but I was like, I really don't want to be out in this. So I took out the garbage and it was so cold when I took out the garbage. I was like, I'll go to the store tomorrow. It's supposed to be 40. There's no chance I'm going to the store. Did you shovel? I thought of you today as I was shoveling.
I knew you. I was just thinking that.
I thought I was shoveling and I was like, oh, I wonder if Cody is shoveling.
I shoveled my sidewalk. I did not shovel my driveway because there's like less than an inch.
Very nice. Well, and tomorrow it's going to melt. So yeah. So you'll be fine. You didn't do the one path for the mailman or the postal carrier or the letter carrier?
I actually did the walk up to my house. I didn't really do much of the driveway because the thing is the chimney guys had a truck in our driveway most of the morning.
Oh, see.
And they were in and out a lot though. So there's a lot of our mail person will be fine.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, that's what you did last time. You did one little path.
But now I'm into shoveling. No, and this was a thing on the show for so long because you hated snow, right? Like,
yeah, I'm tired of it.
Yeah, you were sick of it, and I was always like, dirt, dirt, dirt. I walk and I take the train. I don't care.
Yeah, you're Mr. Winter.
I don't deal with traffic. I don't get on the bus. I don't get trapped on Lakeshore Drive in a snowstorm and then call into WGN and then put it on the cover of my award-winning best-selling autobiography. Like, that's not a thing that I did. But
who would do something like that?
So let's give it 10 years. And if in 2031, we'll see if I'm complaining about snow by then.
Yeah, I just don't want it on the sidewalks and the streets.
Mm-hmm.
I love to say, it looks nice on the grass. It looks nice in the trees. Oh, it's beautiful. I can appreciate the beauty of new fallen snow till I have to either drive in it or shovel it.
Sure.
But now I don't have much to shovel. So it's not, now that I'm in the city, I don't have a whole lot to shovel.
Sure.
So that's fine.
Makes sense.
Back at the other place, I mean, we went through the blizzards and stuff. I've seen it all. I don't need it anymore.
I'm starting to, speaking of places, I'm starting to think positively about the vaccine deal, right?
Yes.
And I'm like, look, my wife and I love traveling. We travel all the time. We're hot to trot somewhere, right? So,
are you looking for a swingers resort? What does that mean?
Not? What the heck, call it a day.
Hot to trot.
Is that did I misuse that?
That used to mean if somebody was hot to trot, they were looking to throw down. They're looking to horizontal mambo.
I meant we want to be in a physical location that's not my house for the first time in a year.
You're very eager to travel.
Yeah, we're eager to travel. Let's just do that. Let's just dispense with any idiot.
Listen, if you are hot to trot, I'm sure there's a lot of people who would welcome you to their resorts.
We might be that too. I don't know. I heard I always heard some weird running joke or stereotype that Downers Grove is like the capital of swingers in the suburbs.
How can that? I've never heard that.
No idea if that's true. That's totally
urban myth.
Heard that a couple times. They're like, oh yeah, you want to be a swinger, go out to Downers Grove. No idea if it's true. And
I used to hear that about where we lived too. That
really?
there was a subdivision in Frankfurt that had a reputation for that as well. Not the one we lived in, but another one. So anyway, you're hot to trot. You're open to a lot of things, but it has to be somewhere other than your house. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just breathing in beer. It's fine.
You're thinking about being in Downers Grove? At a key party?
You got really excited there.
I don't blame you. It was an exciting tale.
What I meant to say was that we love traveling and we would like to travel.
Okay.
So
are you ear, nose, and throat doctor? Take a breath. I don't want you to hurt yourself.
Mm-hmm. So what I'm thinking, here's what I'm thinking, Brian.
Yeah. What do you think?
I'm going to see if you're on board with this. I think right now, this very second, I assume booking a travel, vacation package, all that stuff, dirt cheap because no one's doing it, right?
Right.
No one's going anywhere.
Mm-mm.
If I book 6 months out, 8 months, 10 months out, let's say October, November, who cares?
Right.
Let's say we book a thing like next week. I call up a travel agent and I'm like, I want to go to New Zealand in December. All right, I'm going to get like 50% off tickets or something like that. It's going to be super cheap. And then assume, hopefully, fingers crossed, knock on wood, whatever other idioms I don't know, hot to trot, trot on pop, hop on pop, who cares? Red fish, blue fish, all those things. Then we'll assume that by then we'll be vaccinated / safe enough and we can get a babysitter, or it can be a family trip. We'll probably get a babysitter for a few days.
Get a babysitter.
If it's New Zealand, we probably won't do New Zealand, but somewhere, right? Like, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking let's plan 10 months out. Let's plan a vacation, pay for it when it's super cheap right now, and then think about it. Now, that's my thing. And if I could go anywhere, I don't know. I kind of want to go to Utah. I want to check out the hiking there and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You've been cooped up. Your wife has been cooped up. But you've been in New Orleans, you've been in New York. I mean, not sightseeing, right?
Right.
Pleasure cruise, but
Yeah, New York we were there for 12 hours. So that doesn't,
right.
doesn't really count.
You've popped up to a couple places. So Are you feeling like a travel itch where you're like, right now you're thinking like, you know what, like 8 months from now, I want to be here? And if so, where is that place?
Well, it's funny you bring this up. My cousin's son, Brendan, is getting married in Estes Park, Colorado, August 13th.
No
And
way.
we just got our save the date. And my cousin Jim's wife had called to get our address and get Molly's address. And so Debbie told me. And so I said, oh, all right, are we going to go? Yeah, we're going to go. And then I said, well, why don't we make it a road trip? I said, we can make this our vacation. We can drive out, drive through, whatever way. I've been to Colorado. I've been to Colorado Springs to work. And I've driven through Colorado on the way back from Los Angeles, but I've never really spent time in the Rocky Mountains and any of that. So all of a sudden it's like, wow, well, we have a trip. And I'm already, we're already starting to think about it as a sidebar on this. So we're very excited to go because it'll be cool. And it's right. Estes Park is right at the base of Rocky Mountain National Park. It's right there.
I went to a wedding there, actually.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah. My friend Alina from college got married there it must have been 2010, no, probably 2012-ish.
Okay.
At the latest, might have been earlier. But yeah, I went Estes Park. It was this really cool, like resort kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, it is like you were there. Like you want to go hiking, walk in any direction. Like you're in the mountains. It's good.
Oh, I can't wait. And so we're excited to go. And my mom says, I was talking to my mom today. I go, oh, did you get your save the date for Brendan's wedding? I did. Are you two planning on going? I said, yes, we're planning on going. Oh, that's great. Are you thinking of driving? And I was like, why? Well, I thought, I'd pay my way, but I could ride out with you. And I said, oh, okay, we could talk about that. Well, no, I think it'd be fun. We could ride out together and then, I could pay for gas or I would pay for your room or and I'm like, oh, okay, we'll figure it out. So I ran it by Debbie. I just said, oh, my mom wants to drive out to Colorado with us. Debbie's like, oh, I don't know. I mean, see I think this would be either incredibly fun or only two of us are coming back. I'm not saying which two, but only two are going to to make the trip back. So I don't know. This could be fun, but we have a lot of time to figure this out between then. But so where have you thought other than New Zealand, which is a huge undertaking? Have you thought of anywhere continental or Mexico or closer that's not a 24-hour flight?
Yes. I mean, my wife wants to go do something outdoorsy. It depends on, do you plan a longer trip and just bring the baby, or do you plan a shorter trip and have a babysitter? He'll be a year old in September.
Right.
I figure, get some, pump some breast milk or whatever, get some bottles, maybe a couple days manageable. Right.
Yeah.
So it depends. If it's a shorter trip, I think Utah. We've always wanted to do the Zion National Park.
Yeah.
I've always been desperate to go. Now, I'd like to spend more than a couple days there, but it would be good. Now, she's never, like, the thing with my wife is she's traveled internationally so much. She's lived in like 4 continents. She's lived in Russia. She's lived in Paris for a few months. She's lived in Argentina. Like, she's lived in Morocco for a few months. I mean, she's like so well traveled internationally. Domestically, not so much. She hasn't seen, the Grand Canyon, the Yellowstone National Park. She has been in New Orleans, which I haven't. But we're going to New Orleans for my older brother's wedding. My oldest brother's going to get married there.
Very nice.
I'll be in New Orleans in the next 8 months. So a lot of the American like sites. So if it's a few days, I'm thinking maybe Yellowstone, or maybe Zion, maybe the Grand Canyon, because then we could pop over to Vegas, which a couple days in Vegas is always.
A couple days in Vegas is great with a 1-year-old. it's awful. I've been to Vegas with a baby.
And the nice thing about Vegas is only tolerable for up to 72 hours.
Yeah,
and
I'll
then
agree.
You just have to get out of there immediately. Because it's the worst. So we would leave them with my parents or my sister, or a combination of the two. They like to pass them around.
Yeah, Vegas is not a place for a child.
No, and I've got a lot of family members who haven't spent a lot of quality time with my son, so they, it all works out. So I don't know, maybe Vegas, maybe Yellowstone, maybe Zion. We'll see. I'm not really sure, but your Estes Park is perfect. It's outdoors.
Driving through, I only was in Utah to drive through it coming back from LA last time I picked up Molly, and it was unbelievably gorgeous.
Same.
Just rock and just the formations. Here's a short trip if you did want to take the baby and you still want to do outdoor stuff. The Smoky Mountains. Because you could get
UP.
You get a cabin. Well, as a guy who's not from Michigan, I've spent time in the UP. I like the Rocky Mountains or the Smoky Mountains better.
Okay.
The Smoky Mountain National Park is phenomenal. There's a lot of stuff on the outskirts, like to do. There's cabins all over to rent, which would be great for with the baby. So that's only like a 7-hour drive. So it's not, if you were going just for a short-term thing and you were bringing the baby with, that might be something where you can do a lot of outdoorsy stuff in a cool environment. And in the fall, it's gorgeous down there.
Yeah.
Just gorgeous. Plus we saw bears. Yeah. There's real bears.
Which is more than I can say for the playoffs. Hi-oh.
Yeah, your team is taking on Tampa Bay on Sunday.
Well, they better win because I put.
Are you going to be watching?
No, but I put money on it.
Did you really?
All right. There's this company. There's this artificial intelligence company called Unanimous AI. You can look it up. Unanimous AI.
Okay.
They specialize. This has to do with sports. They specialize in what's called swarm intelligence.
What is that?
It's like biomimicry from honeybees. So certain animals like honeybees, they have like a swarm intelligence. They kind of think as a unit. Think the Borg from Star Trek.
Okay.
Like they're all interconnected and stuff. And these guys at Unanimous AI said, what if we could harness the power of swarm intelligence with humans? So they created these interfaces, these basically virtual interfaces, and they have a bunch of humans get together, and they use human. You will click on a cursor, let's say, on a map that shows like different opinions for something. So maybe they'll put a hypothetical matchup. Who's going to win this match, Packers or Tampa Bay? Yeah. And there'll be a bunch of different corners, and you can say, well, they'll win by a lot, they'll win by a little, they'll tie, they'll whatever. And as you're clicking, this artificial intelligence kind of adapts and congregates all these ideas that all these like 100 people are clicking, and it kind of moves this cursor around like a Ouija board almost. And then the people using this interface end up kind of agreeing and coming to one agreement on what the outcome is going to be. So they do this with sport. They've tested this and kind of demonstrated this with sports. They'll get like 100 fans of English Premier League, and they'll say, all right, who's going to win this matchup and how much by how much? And they'll, you'll start with a strong opinion. AI will drag you this way or this way. It basically is measuring how strongly people feel, and it's coming to this collective agreement among people. It's an interesting system. What they've done is they started a sports picker Unanimous AI, where every week they would get a bunch of fans of a particular sport. They would have them do this interface and get involved with it and have the AI and them interact. And they would come up with predictions. And they would say, all right, here's the English Premier League. Here's all their matches this week. Or here's the NFL. Here's all their matches. NBA. Here's all their matches. Here's who's going to win. And against like the most expert betting people, against Vegas betting odds, whatever, they outperform them by like 20 to 50% or whatever. Like, it's extraordinary. Wow. It's very, very good. They accurately predicted the Kentucky Derby trifecta like 4 years ago which means that if you bet like $5, you would have made like $35,000.
Jesus. All right.
So these guys they're pretty legit, and they used the sports picker tool as kind of a proof of concept. They're like, look at what happens when you get a bunch of people together, use AI to help them, and you kind of get the best of both worlds. You get a swarm AI and you get human intelligence. It's really interesting. Nowadays, you actually have to pay for their sports picker, but 3 years ago, their sports picker was free. You just looked at their blog posts. So I put a couple $100 into a sports betting account, and I checked their blog post every week, and I would just bet straight against their stuff. And I would always put a couple bucks in the straight ticket bet. I would put a couple bucks in like whatever the bet is, where you basically are betting that like these 7 outcomes will all happen.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So the odds are really low. You'll get it all right. But the payout, you'd pay like $2 and you would make like $600 or whatever.
Right.
So I would always like bet like a couple bucks on each game. And then I would put like $5 in that like super bet in case I would get the like $600 payout or whatever. So I was pretty much broke even every week. Like it was good enough. Anyway, I stopped using Unanimous AI. I stopped paying attention. But the other week I was like kind of consolidating my finances, and I was like, I think I still have a balance in this sports betting account. So I go to the sports betting account. I have like a $200 balance. This is like sitting there. And I was like, all right, well, I wonder what Unanimous AI says about the Super Bowl. Because right on the front page of this betting site, it's like Super Bowl bets right now. Place your bets.
Right now.
So I go to Unanimous AI. Now you do have to pay for their sports picker predictions generally, but they like once every few months, they'll put one blog post with big predictions. And this was like a month ago. And they said, we just did our Unanimous AI. We predict the winner of the Super Bowl like 6 weeks out. And they predicted the Green Bay Packers with like 17% saying yes, or I don't know what it was. But I was like, all right, fine. So I took some of my balance in this existing account, and I was just like, I'm just going to put on the Packers. What the heck?
Yeah.
You're going to say I says it, whatever. So anyway, it's the first time I've bet in like 3 yeyears. But
so you got some dough. You got skin in the game. You're ready to go.
A very intelligent AI platform, and my money, and like, I used to be a Packers fan, and I haven't really watched football in like 3 years because I don't have TV. But I wouldn't mind if they won, and now I've got money on it. So let's go, dude.
What do you mean you don't have TV? I saw a TV in your house. Oh, you just have streaming services.
Yeah, I don't have cable. I don't have that. I don't have Apple.
One of them is running games on the streaming service. I don't know.
Are they?
You can always listen to WTMJ. They're the home of the you can stream them and listen to the games online.
I love live radio.
Yeah, so you can listen to live radio.
It's a great place. Sorry if that story was a little long, but
no.
Company. If you're really into,
are they? No. Let me ask you this: is it skewed because I'm guessing the people that they're talking to are fans of whatever team? So, or are they people who have no investment? Like, are they talking to people only in Green Bay? Are they talking to people all over the country? Are they talking to people all over the world? Because I'm guessing if you only talk to 300 people from Green Bay and 300 people from Tampa Bay, you're going to get a very, an evenly divided answer.
That's true. I don't know exactly how the sports go, but let me give you one other example. Was the Oscars?
Okay.
They had like 200 people that just like movies.
All right.
And the people that were, and so they were like, let's make Oscar predictions. So they had all these diagrams for like, okay, best actor will be which one of these. You kind of have to watch it in real time. Like I said, they're clicking cursors, but the AI is kind of like pulling it like a Ouija board. And like, as people are clicking it, they're like, well, it's going this way. All right, maybe this is right. Maybe that's right. So it's not like I have a hard and fast opinion. Here's what I think. It kind of changes in real time. And this AI algorithm like moderates it. So they had like 200 movie fans.
Okay.
Who were just like average moviegoers. Many of them hadn't even watched all the Oscar nominees. And still, they predicted the Oscar winners with like 30% more accurately than like expert movie critics.
Really?
Yeah, it's a crazy, weird artificial intelligence human hybrid thing. I really don't understand the inner workings of it, but it's a cool thing. And they've got a blog. It's Unanimous AI, and like it's they showed with the Super Bowl predictions. They're like, here's what our betting results were, and they beat Las Vegas odds. Like they know better than Vegas at like a 20% lift.
Oh my God.
Like all year. Like it's really weird. I've covered a lot of technology stuff on my podcast for Curiosity, and it's probably the coolest one. Like it's just like,
that sounds really cool.
I wish they would do more. Actually, they want to do more with like politics and stuff, because what they say is polls, like you see pollsters, Nate Silver and all that. What they say is polls are polarizing. Polls are, I'm on this side, you're on that side. Right. I'm going to tell you what I think. You're going to tell me what you think. But this system is like a real time, we're all converging on a consensus. That's the whole idea of it, right? So that you're like, well, you may start thinking this is going to be your political opinion, but like at the end, the whole group decides and says like, oh no, wait, this is what we should do as a society, and this would be better. And he's like, if politicians used this, then it would like, they would converge naturally on like better outcomes for policies and stuff for people, just like nationally. So I don't know. I hope it gets some traction.
That's pretty wild. Because I mean, when I was doing Sportsnet, we would talk to prediction people all the time, and I would bet with what they, and never won. Nothing. We would have people on for the Derby. We'd have people on for the Super Bowl. We'd have people on for this or that. And they were like, yeah, this is what we've done. And this is how we came up with it. We crunched all these numbers. We did. And I was like, all right. And I'd go and make a couple bets. It's like playing the lottery, which I bet. Have you been playing the lottery?
Not lately. No.
Oh, no, this is the time. It's up to the one. Yeah, nobody's won. So like, what's today? Today's Wednesday. Today was Powerball. Nobody won last night's Mega Million. Now the Friday drawing is up to over $900 million. It'll probably be over $1 billion on Friday. I never play. But last week I got sucked in because I was like, well, look at the size of these. Look at the size of these pots. So I dropped 20 on, 10 on each game, and I go into a place by my mom's because I was out there, and I said, you want me to get you some lotto tickets? Oh yeah. And then she's like, well, and if I win, you don't have to bring them back because I trust you. And if we win, we're all going to split it up anyway. And I was like, well, maybe. So I go into this little gas station convenience store by her house that has sold winning lottery tickets in the past. And I was like, okay, I need, for tonight's Powerball, no Powerball is tomorrow. Mega Millions is today. I go, all right, I need $10 quick pick on tonight's Mega Millions. Okay. And I need tomorrow's tomorrow's Powerball. Okay, fine. and so one woman is helping me, and another guy who's working the register over there goes, man, you're pretty much an expert on this lottery stuff, huh? And I'm like, yeah, I play it all the time. So I end up getting it, and I didn't realize if you play over on Powerball, I think it is, or one of them, if you play over 3 lines, they give you a line for free. So it's $2 a line for the lottery. And because I bought $10, I got a free line. So I got, instead of 5 lines, I got 6 lines for each of the games or one of the games. I don't know. All I know is I don't think I won anything. And so then I was like, well, I've rolled the dice now. I played last Wednesday and Friday. I got to get more tickets. So this week I went out and I bought tickets. And yesterday I went and bought tickets for yesterday and today. Now, if I don't win everything today, then I got to go out and buy them for Friday and Saturday. At some point I got to stop, because I read something that said, people like me and a lot of people who only play when when you see it in the headlines, it's $1 billion. Oh, well, I got to go buy some tickets. That's the worst time to play, because your odds of winning are still the same. Horrible, impossible. You're never going to win. But your odds of having to split the pot are so much greater on these big. This sounds like something Discovery would have talked about. Have you ever done this out of curiosity?
I used to run the work pool at my old job. That was a nightmare because I had to put everything in writing. I took pictures of all the tickets I bought. I mean, I was like very litigious about it, because the last thing I need is for everyone in the marketing department, except one person, to buy a ticket, and then that one person like will all win, and then they'll sue or whatever.
Right. Well, I always bought one. I always bought one with you guys,
Sure.
except for that 1 week. Well,
Sure.
Sorry, dude. Oh. I was out sick that day. My mother had died, and so I didn't get to get my lottery ticket. And well, did you call and ask me to put in $2 for you? Well, no. Plus, how that would have been horrible. That would have to have to be in charge of that would have been a nightmare because everybody's going to have an issue.
The Illinois lottery website incompetence has saved me like $100 a year. So you can go on the Illinois lottery website and you can basically auto buy a Powerball ticket by like just putting in your credit card and you put in this information and it'll just buy you you can just say like, oh, I'll just buy one every week. So it's like $2 a week or whatever.
Okay.
So I have tried to do that a million times. And you have to verify your mailing address with the state of Illinois.
Sure.
Great. Okay, cool. I lived in my last apartment for 5 years. It was the address on my driver's license, my actual Illinois driver's license. Didn't work. It said we can't verify you as an Illinois resident. Tried that. Tried my previous address. Tried my address before. I tried every address in my adult life. Never verified. They didn't detect me as a real Illinois resident.
Was it the address on your tax returns?
I don't know what it was, but same one. So I just couldn't do it. And I wanted to give them money and it wouldn't work. So I'd save me money. But I wanted to do the just like auto buy once a week. But I gotta tell you, there's I played this role-playing game, Final Fantasy 14.
Yes.
And in that game, there's a lottery. There's a weekly drawing in real time. Every Saturday night at 10 p.m., there's a drawing, and you can actually win like in-game currency and items. It's 4 digits, and it's just numbers 1 through 10, right? I've played that game every week, Brian, for 4 years, and I've never matched. I've matched the last digit because they give you a prize if you match the last digit or the last 2 digits. I've matched the last digit like 4 times. So that game taught me how ridiculously unlikely it is for you to ever win anything.
I have no illusions in my entire life. I think I've won $2 in the lottery, which I then rolled over to more lottery tickets.
Right. It's still fun though.
It is fun. And especially like this, because I think it gives us that moment to dream. And in this last year, we all need that moment to dream. Mm-hmm. So it's, for $10, I can for a week or 3 days think, oh man, where am I going to go? Where am I going to buy the properties? What's going to happen? Where, what beach am I going to buy so I never have to be around anybody? It's fun. It's fun like that. Mm-hmm. But then I thought it was, and then I brought that up last night on the radio. Nothing happened. No response. Nothing. People in Wisconsin don't dream. Maybe that's not true. They dream plenty. But they know they can't take their lottery money and buy the Packers a Super Bowl victory. I don't know. You get in touch with some of those refs. If you got $600 million, which was the payout for last night, if you took the cash payout, you got $600 million, you can buy some officials.
But who's taking the cash payout, really?
Everybody, they say.
That's true.
Other than, above the annuity, you got to take it. You got to take the full cash thing because then you can invest it yourself. Well, or you can blow it all in 6 months on hookers and meth.
Plus, then if the state actually pays it, they'll actually pay it. Because remember that there was a couple of years when Illinois wasn't paying them out.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, we don't have the money. We can't pay the what? Sorry. Yeah. You got to take the money. You got to take it and do it. But then I always think I'm like, all right, sure, I'd love to win it. But I'm always looking for that pain in the ass portion of this. Then it's going to be, where do I find a financial person who I can trust? Because if I call you on the phone, I go, listen, I'm looking to hire a financial advisor. I just came into $690 million. Oh, sure, Mr. Duda, we'll help you. And then all of a sudden, a year later, you don't have a pot to pee in because they've bilked you. Mm-hmm. And everybody's coming at you with investment opportunities. And I'm not savvy financially. So I'd be like, oh, yeah, that sounds good. What? You'd come at me, listen, I was going to start brewing this stout. And it's not aged. It's aged in my bathtub. Not even a I take an empty bottle of Knob Creek and I throw it in the tub, and then I make all this beer and I throw it in. Sounds good, right? Yeah, okay. How much is that going to cost me? $7 million. that sounds about right. Okay. And suddenly I'm gone.
Mhm.
So I worry about who's gonna handle it for me. Because the point of winning that much money is that now you have generational wealth that money is just gonna keep making money. So you don't have to worry ever again.
Mhm.
And you need somebody who's gonna not cheat you, who's gonna take care of the tax liability, who's gonna oversee that. You probably need a team of people.
Mhm.
And they're going to overcharge you because they know somebody who won the lottery is not like somebody who built a business from scratch and is a self-made billionaire. Somebody who's worked their butt off the whole time. You're just some slob who had $10 or $2, and now they're like, "Oh, this yokel, we could fleece this guy forever." Normally, we make about $700,000 a year handling these kind of cuts. Oh, okay, well, that sounds good to me. Go ahead.
It's like
That's fine.
My friend Max went on this hilarious rant the other night on a Zoom call with some friends about the people. He's like, with the Bitcoin stuff. He's like, what drives me crazy about the Bitcoin stuff is that, and I still,
you dabble a little still, don't you?
I dabble. I should have sold some last week when it was $40,000, but I didn't. But whatever.
It'll go up again, right?
It will, sure. So he's like, what makes me so mad is these people that are like, oh, I have like an external hard drive that has like $600 million in Bitcoin on it, but I can't access it because like if I put in my password one more time, like it'll just lock it out forever.
It's an actual news story.
It is, but his contention is he's like these like devices were created by private companies, right? Like,
yeah.
I refuse to believe that you can't go to that private company and be like, hey, I have $600 million in Bitcoin on this. I will give you $200 million if you just like use your code and like do the thing you did to build this to get my password. So there's Bitcoin. Like and then you'll have $200 million. And all
if you have that much money in Bitcoin, shouldn't you be smart enough to write your password down somewhere on a Post-it note in an address book? Somewhere. Isn't there something? I have passwords written down all over my house.
I have passwords written physically.
Yeah. I've got, because they say, Molly yells at me, why are your passwords so complicated? I go, I don't know, because they tell you not to use the same password.
Yeah.
So I've got, you have symbols and you got numbers and you got yeah. That's what you're supposed to do.
Actually, fun fact.
Yes.
We interviewed some cybersecurity people. It's not about the characters, it's about the length of it. So you could actually write all lowercase. If you write out a sentence, if you write out all lowercase, the sentence, QuarantineCast, Brian, Cody, Craig, that's going to be a more secure password than like a 10-digit one that's like P capital exclamation point at blah, 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 blah.
Really?
It's the length. The length is the number one thing. Yeah.
Well, mine are always pretty long too, which is another reason she,
and that's good too. Yeah. And then, I mean, complicated is good, but if you had to choose between like a 10
length is the best.
Length is the best. Yeah. And you can do like, and Marta's right in the chat, get a password manager. Those are good to have. I don't have one. I should. I know I should. But
you want to see my password manager?
No, but I'm going to start coming up with passwords that are like a full sentence that I've written out. Like it'll
that's a good idea.
Yeah, happy birthday, son, or whatever, and put my son's name or something.
Right. No, that makes sense. I saw that. So your friend's upset about this. He doesn't.
No,
he thinks like, it's true though. He makes a good point. Somebody's got to be able to get into that thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then that's what they say about the iPhone too. When the FBI, confiscates one and they try to get it, they go, "Oh, we only have 10 tries to get their code."
True.
You're the FBI.
That's true.
You can't. You probably have. Hackers that are as good as anybody. You can't get in a phone. It's 4 numbers. I don't know how many. I'm not a math person, so I don't know how many combinations of 4 numbers there are.
I'm not a math person at all.
Probably thousands. But yeah, I heard that story about the guy who has all this Bitcoin supposedly on this hard drive and he can't get into it. Like, dude, first of all, then you don't deserve that money. Because I'm going to be honest, I would make sure I had that password. If I had $600 million on a hard drive, there would be everything. Everything. I'd have little hints everywhere. I'd have notes. And somebody, Marta says, how do you remember them? Not Brian's method. These are only like little ones for, the restream that we do here and stuff like that. I have different ones. I have things written everywhere. I'm very cagey.
Mine are not always, I don't always follow my own advice, to be clear, Marta. Like I'm telling people what they should do, and I don't always follow that. That said, a good way, if you write a sentence, maybe is like a favorite lyric of a song. Like your favorite song, you could say like "In the Cold November Rain," like just all typed out, lowercase, no spaces, whatever. If November Rain's your favorite song, that kind of thing. Like if it means something to you, that's always going to help, right? My go-to password is like a combination of an old family name and like my high school ID number from high school, student ID. Weird, I know, right? Yeah.
How do you remember?
Very strange. So anyway, if it means something to you, then yeah, you got those long ones. But like, I also don't vary them often enough. Like, I reuse them, which you're not supposed to do. Like, it's just, I should use a password manager. Like, you're right.
Right.
Frankly, you're right.
You worry so much, and it was like when I got, I forget what I put. I put the little lens cover on our desktop a couple years ago. Molly's like, "Who's going to hack into your computer?" I go, "I don't know." But, do I want to give them? Is it, I got this for free from when I interviewed somebody from the Better Business Bureau. It cost me nothing to stick it over the lens of the camera. What's the difference?
Mine is from the Better Business Bureau.
Yeah, they were left on the free they were left on the free table at GN.
Wait, did you interview the person, or did you just get it from?
I've interviewed him before. Okay. I think we grabbed him on the same day. But yeah, I have that. And then when I went to get the new webcam, the one that you recommended, and there was an option of the C920 or the C920S. And the S just means it has that little piece of plastic that flips down and covers the lens. Same price. So I got the one with the little piece of plastic that flips down and covers the lens.
I got two webcams. I got one on my desk and then this one in the studio, but this one I don't need a lens cover because it covers 3 feet of my house. Like,
right. And you're not going to be in there doing anything obscene.
Right. I'm not going from my master bedroom into this office, into the closet to change my shirt. Like it's just not, Oh,
I bought a little one. They make them for laptops, the little really thin ones, which Molly told me when I got this new laptop. She was like, "Oh, they have these." I was like, "All right, get me one." So now I have, I don't know. I don't know if anybody's going to, but then every once in a while you get those spam emails. "We've been watching you. We know what you've been looking at." I'm like, what? No. So cover up your camera, whatever. But covering your camera and changing your passwords is all part of it.
Wait,
the guy who threw out his disc and he knows it's in his town's dump and he wants to get permission to dig it up, he'll give half the amount. Oh my goodness. Rule number 1, do not tell people what you do to come up with passwords. Do not use pet, child, favorite band names. No, I don't use any of those.
Well, fortunately, no one knows my son's name, so you're not going to guess it because it's not normal.
It is unusual. It's unique.
Yeah, thank you. Unique. When I saw you, I told you we were going to talk about something on tonight's show, and I don't remember what now.
Oh man, I don't either.
Oh my God.
But the good news is we'll be back again next week, and there will be next week no politics to talk about. It's going to be very exciting.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this in passing. I thought there was something that I teased last week that I would either have really good news or I'd have a story that was not good news. Unfortunately, I have the story that is not good news. So I have it. You remember a couple of years ago, I was on Chicago Med, right?
Yeah.
Had that little part. A lot of fun. It was terrific. Well, this is a little inside baseball, but as a Chicago actor, you can only do one of those shows every 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So because the producers don't want, they don't want to see me 1 week on Chicago Med, then the next week I'm Chicago PD, and the next week I'm on Chicago Fire. That looks stupid. And there's a lot of great actors in Chicago. So it's been 2 years. So a week or so ago, I get an email. Hey, you got an audition for Chicago. This is for Chicago Fire.
Nice.
Which I had been, a couple of years ago, I was up for a big part on Chicago Fire.
You were. I remember that.
And I was on a veil, the whole thing. So now everything is self-tape. And I'm like, oh God, this is going to be awful. So Molly was still here. So Molly helped me self-tape this audition. And it was a very small part. It was It was a groundskeeper whose arm was trapped under a giant tombstone. So that was the part. And I do the couple lines, and Molly's holding my iPhone and taping it. And then I upload it. I send it to the agent, the whole thing. So they want 3 different takes, 3 different ways of me saying these 2 lines. And I do them. And I'm like, then I forget, or I don't forget, but I just go, okay, whatever. Mm-hmm. I've come to that point where I used to worry nonstop about these auditions. Like if I did one and I didn't hear, oh no. And it all is because one time I left an audition, and before I got to my car, my agent called me and said I had it. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't even walking from. So I always expect it to be that fast. Mm-hmm. Well, last week and a half ago, I get an email. Hey, you're on avails, which for those of you not in the business means they've basically hired you, but they've kept like 2 to 3 people. You're all on availabilities. They want to make sure you are available. Yes, I'm available these dates. All right. It's pending a negative COVID test. Okay. Do I have to do it? Nope. They'll set it all up when they book you and you'll go, okay, terrific. Then I get another email. Do you have any tattoos and where are they? I said, no tattoos. Now, I don't know if that's the deal breaker. I don't know if they want a big tattooed groundskeeper or not. But I'm like, no, I don't have any tattoos. Okay, terrific. Thank you. And I'm waiting. And the first day of the avails was a Sunday. And I'm like, well, they're not going to call. And I don't think about it until I'm on avails. Because like I said, then they basically have hired you.
Right.
It's not a matter of talent anymore. It's a matter of, we've got a couple people, maybe they'll fit the costume better. Maybe one time it was like, well, we looked and you were too tall for the lead. You dwarfed the lead actor. Okay, that's fair enough. I can't help that. Well, yesterday I get the email. Sorry, you've been released.
Sorry.
I know. But the good thing was at least they told me, because in the past they've never said anything. And I'll call and go, hey, what's going on? Am I still on hold for this? Oh no, they released you. But you couldn't shoot me an email or a text or something? So yeah. But now I'm holding out hope that now I'll get something for a little bigger part.
Well, there's lots of other Chicago-based TV shows, so you've got chances.
There are. And now that, it's one of those things, there's new agents at my agency and, but I think once they see that they send you out and you get you're called back, you're on hold, they realize you're viable. So,
yeah.
But, I don't get to lay on the ground pinned under a tombstone and scream till these 2 firefighters come and save me. So,
I hope the EcoCast self-tape thing kind of keeps up, because there is a remarkable number of exceptional actors that you will never see ever anywhere because they're not good at auditions.
Right.
Auditioning is a special circle of hell. I remember vividly every second of the last audition I had at not O'Connor. What was not the TV, the one that called you. It's the Claire Simon. Claire Simon.
Yep.
I vividly every second of that. I remember sitting in the lobby. I remember looking around. I remember the beautiful women, because they're all super hot girls coming into audition for the same super hot girl part.
Right.
The same as the dudes, a bunch of dudes, bunch of tall, skinny white guys in flannel shirts, all auditioning for the same tall, skinny white guy in flannel shirt part.
Yeah, you never feel less unique than when you're at an audition. And you realize you're one of 20 other guys that look exactly like you.
Yeah, you've seen it parodied in TV shows, but it's not a parody. It's real.
No,
that's actually what it's like. It's 30 people wearing the same thing that look the same. It's weird. And I walked in, and Claire Simon was sitting on a couch, completely ignoring everything. She was just so checked out. She's on her phone or something. And then the lady that was there, a young African-American woman, and she told me to do a thing, read a line, gave me a weird look when I kind of was late for a cue. And then immediately I knew I just didn't have it. After 3 seconds, she's like, okay. Claire Simon didn't look at me for a second the entire time. And I walked out and I was like, I hate this. I hate everything about this. This is miserable.
Yeah. Those initial auditions, they're seeing everybody. Well, no, that's not true. So the breakdowns come out. This is for real quickly before we get out of here. For those of you who've wondered how this works, this is how it works. The breakdowns come out, and the breakdown is a description of each part that they're looking to cast. And the agents look at this and say, all right, I have 4. There's a bunch of agents. There's millions of
35 male between 6'2" and 6'4", 200 pounds, like that kind of profile.
So everybody that an agent has that matches that or is even close, they send. So the casting agent gets a stack. This is back in the day. Used to get a stack of hardcover pictures. Now they get an email with 1 million different things. So they look through those. That's when they pick the people who are going to actually come in and audition the first round. So the first round is, we've narrowed it down from the giant cattle call to this cattle call, and you're going in there and you're doing it, and they're, then they don't look at it then, they look at it after. And then they send it to the producers. And the producers decide or the casting people decide if you have a callback. And the callback is the second one. And sometimes then there's a third one where you go in to producers. And that's the worst, because you walk in and it's the cast. That's when everybody is engaged, because it's the casting director, the director of the episode, the producers, some other people. And it sucks because you go into this antiseptic little room and you're standing against a wall and there's somebody reading off like 5-6 inches away from the camera. And you're supposed to talk to them, pretend the camera isn't there, pretend all these people who are judging you aren't there, and then do this, 3-4 lines. And then they go, okay, thanks. Sometimes they'll go, could you do it this way? Okay, sure. You do it that. Okay, thanks. And then you leave. And then the next step is I'll call and go, okay, you're on avails, which means now you've gone from this to this to this to this. And at this point, it doesn't matter how talented you are. It's visually, are you the person?
Yeah. And you don't really pay attention until you get to avails.
Right. Oh, I know.
Because at any point, you could just be gone.
No, and I've had it where I've been called back and then not gone to producers. I've had it where I've gone right to producers. I didn't have to do the first 2 steps. It's like, hey, you're going right to producers. Okay. And then it's avails and it's either booked or not. Yeah. One time when I got this huge Prestone campaign in Los Angeles, I did the audition. I left and I went on the road to do a gig. And my agent calls and goes, they want to see you again. I go, I mean, where was I? Somewhere in Texas. And I was like, well, I'm in Texas. Well, I said, just tell them I'm available. Tell them, well, no, they have to see you again. I go, well, I can't come in tomorrow. I'm in Texas. Well, they're never going to hire you then. I was like, okay, well, sorry, I'm here making money. I can't, that's the way it goes. They called back the next day. Okay, you booked it. It's like, okay, fantastic. That was fun.
All I'm saying is, like, it'll be interesting to see, because like I said, like, some people do not perform well in the audition environment. I'm one of them. So and they can be phenomenal actors. That's the thing, right? Like, it's weird, right? They're 2 different skills, right? They're 2 entirely different skill sets. You can be a really, really good actor. Like, you get in front of the camera, you're in it, you're like all about this character. And then there's the audition room where you go into a cold, weird, abrupt environment where, like, there's all this weird pressure and, like, you're not really getting cues and you're not quite sure what they want. And it's just, like, confusing. And, like, there's a lot of, like, you've got all this pressure, especially if, like, that's your primary source of income, right? Like, you're, like, basically, like, kind of begging for a role in your head and at the same time having to project. So there's all these different skill sets, right? But if you're self-taping, you have, like, multiple takes, you can kind of do your thing, whatever. Like, it'll be interesting to see who breaks into the industry now that had no chance before because they just couldn't audition, Yeah,
now you're doing it at home. The problem is, you got to have a wall big enough to have a neutral background, and you got to have somebody holding the camera. You got to, it's whatever. But yeah, we'll see. All right, listen, I have to go to the bathroom, so we're going to start wrapping this up because we're at the 2.5 hour mark, which is quite lengthy. And I'm not going to edit out the first 20 minutes because that's life. That's the way things go.
do it. Just delete it.
I'm not deleting it. I'm not deleting anything. I'm going to post this tomorrow on the, everybody can listen to it on wherever you find podcasts. If you missed any of it, you can listen to Cody every day on Curiosity Daily Podcast, part of the Discovery family of brands, and then go to Discovery Plus and sign up for another streaming service.
Mythbusters.
You watch Mythbusters. I have to clean the Imperial pajamas off my screen since my wife shook it up before she brought it to me. This was the barrel aged in Booker's bourbon barrels. It was very tasty. I've got to get that off the screen. Yeah, so we'll be back next week. Again, your son is lovely. I hope he feels better. Good luck. I hope you don't have to get to the point where you have to use it looks like a mini turkey baster to suck the snot out of his nose. That's always gross. Mm-hmm. But babies can't blow their nose, so you have to do it for them. So that'll be fun.
We've been doing that. Mostly my wife for the last 3 days.
It's gross.
One day.
I was going to say he seemed fine when I saw him on Monday. He was very healthy. Very healthy young boy. I'm not taking any responsibility for that because I am healthy.
All right.
I don't know what's going on in your house. Maybe it's the paint fumes.
Could be the paint fumes.
You're doing some painting. Maybe it's the paint fumes. Because I'm still good. All right. Thank you. Listen, we're good, right? Everything's good. We're all right. I
know you're not mad, but I owe you and the listeners an apology for just being
you
weird.
Do not.
I do. I was weird. I'm sorry I was weird. And I'm glad you stuck around because I think we had a lot of fun the last couple hours. I don't know, man. I don't know what it was at the start. So it's
all right. Listen, you don't owe me an apology. I think it was fine. And as we said last week, we're not going to end every episode saying how happy we are to be doing this, but I am happy to be doing it. And listen, it is fun. Now, who knows? I'm looking forward to seeing what Craig has as a background next week. It will be exciting. Perhaps he will go into a different basement, as you said, but he will be here. We will be here. Thank you for listening and thank you for commenting. Don't forget to listen to the podcast wherever you find podcasts. Listen to Cody's podcast, Curiosity Daily Podcast. And that's it, right? You got anything to leave with?
No, tell your friends. Hide your wife, hide your kids, but tell your friends.
Tell your friends. And tell your enemies too. If you don't like it, tell your enemies. Make them suffer through it. All right. See ya. Bye.